Thank you. Thank you. The flags are in the window. Your crowd is en route. The whole country's watching. But your old TV, not quite match fit. That's why AO's got champion TVs. The best views of the game without paying over the odds with our price match guarantee. And that's why we're the UK's most trusted electrical retailer. Shop now at ao.com. To verify, visit ao.com/trust. Price match terms apply.
Thank you.
Baby, 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 baby. Oh my God, good people of the internet. And by that, I mean you. That's right, you gorgeous people out there receiving this. My God, I can see you through this device. It's new technology. You guys are probably not aware of it. I back-engineered it myself at S4. And it allows me to see all of your faces right now. I know. You're like, what? How can he see me? Covering the camera, frantically sticking duct tape over cameras. Well, you can't stop it. It works beyond your camera. I can see all of your faces. And let me tell you, you're beautiful tonight. You're all absolutely beautiful. But you have to watch me set up a super chat. A super chat goal. And it is, of course, Midweek Madness returns, as it is almost every Saturday. Okay, so if we reach 15 super chats over £5, we will have another stream this week, presumably on Thursday. It usually happens on Thursday. Well, I appreciate all of you guys being here. Mark says, what is miss? I guess you're trying to say, what did I miss? Is this because of Drake's new track? That's called What Did I Miss, right? Is that why you're changing it? Is it not because Drake ruined the words what did I miss now? Can we not say this anymore? Because anything Drake touches seems to be like really not cool. But anyway. Well, Giovanni Agnelli is here. Nawar says, trust me, bro, I do. Fabius M is here. Fata Morgana is here. Enrico is here. Maybe Dote Tumba. Cowcrapper. Oh, look, it's Blizzo Foss again. Blizzo Foss is back. Good to see you. Giovanni with the 5 coming in for the goals. Okay, warming us up tonight. You're pretty cute yourself, says one Jutun. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. It's a lie I can live with, all right? But we have a hype show prepared for you guys tonight. I swear to God, it's gonna be super fun. I have a whole lineup of topics I want to talk about, and some of them are like quite out there. Okay, quite out there. First of all, we're going to briefly touch on this whole ball lightning thing. I'm sure you've seen it. If you spent any time in the last 24 hours on social media, you saw ball lightning, okay? Jack Coving coming in with a 50. Thank you so much, Jack Coving. Look, I pour myself a glass of affordable wine for you. Thank you so much, Jack. Dude, keeping the lights on. Absolute legends, Giovanni and Jack. I hope one day I can shake your hands personally. And thank you guys, because you're making all the difference. Cheers. It is Saturday. We all made it. You made it. I made it. And we're here. We're going to have a good time. But I'm going to give you a rundown now of what we're going to talk about. And you're going to be hyped about it, whether you want it or not. So lean back. Pour yourself a glass of whatever. Chianti is what I'm drinking tonight. Okay. Or light that spliff. Yes, man. If that's your thing of choice, go with that. Is it racist if I'm doing trying to impersonate a Jamaican accent? Probably it is. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Cheers. It is Saturday. Cheers. Cling, ching, ching, ching. We're all chinging, right? I can see your faces. Oh, at least half of you guys are chinging with me, so that's good. Cheers. Cowcrapper is crazy going all out there and thinks to have a Coca-Cola. I mean, don't go too far, bro, you know? Try to keep it under control. I feel like you're going a bit too far with this. I mean, I appreciate you're trying to celebrate the moment of this stream happening, but like a Coca-Cola, please, brother. Stay safe out there, okay? Hood Grier über alles. There you go. Winter Caretaker gets it. Hood Grier. There's a few more Hood Grier images. Maybe we do need to make this a weekly segment. The weekly Hood Grier update. Should we do that? I think there's always some Hood Grier out there that people haven't seen yet, and I know that just as myself, you guys are craving the news. You want to see it. You want to see all the pictures of Hood Grier. What is he up to? What is he doing? How can I be more like Hood Grier, right? So yeah, I'm just having a brief look around if I can see some good images, because obviously I'm not prepared for this, but stuff is coming out. Okay, stuff's coming out. And the beauty of Hood Grier is it's something for the boys, right? Because everyone admires Hood Grier, but it's obviously also something for the ladies. You know what I mean? Hood Grier is half a ladies' man. That's what I'm saying. So his existence is about the ladies, in a good way. Betsy Manning, good to see you. Cheers. Dave B is here. Rose03 is here. Debosaurus Rex is here. Cheers. Who am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing someone. I'm sorry. If you're the one that I'm missing in chat right now and I didn't say your name, then I'm so sorry. Okay, it's not on purpose. I'm just trying to find Hood Grier images over here. Oh, look at this, you know what I mean? This is a typical Hood Grier, bro. The face. I love it, bro. I love how close his face is to the face of Dr. Stephen Grier. It's just like you can see that the AI took like 85 to 90% of the face and just used that and then built everything else around it, right? The cigar, bro. Oh my god. And did you notice also that most, not all, right? He also went to the Met Gala, Hood Grier, so we've got bright pictures, but like most of his pictures, it's at night, it's in parking lots, it's in dodgy back alleys, right? That's the places where Hood Grier hangs out, so cheers. Bro, he's straight sucking, that's right, man. You don't want to know. Look, man, he's burning the, what is this? The $100 notes, right? You can see it there. A little bit. He's burning $100 notes to light his cigar, right? Money means nothing to him. I mean, you remember... do you remember how this guy offered Dr. Stephen Grier $2 billion to join his team and he denied? Hood Grier accepted. So money is not a problem, okay? He's working undercover. He's got so much money. He took the $2 billion, man. That's what happened. Rolling with the pigtails and thick whites. We all know the thick whites, man. That's it. So anyway, little Hood Grier segment, I guess, to warm us up. Oh, they are the thick whites. Yeah, we're getting some also AI-generated thick whites. They're part of the Hood Grier universe. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's so weird, man. I'm not even gonna get into it. Okay, I'm not even gonna get fucking into it. I'm moving on. I had like a million things I want to say, but I am not. Oh, here we go. Nice. I don't know what else. There are not that many new Hood Grier images. They're obviously the classics that we keep seeing. Every now and then we get a new one. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll keep you guys updated on the Hood Grier front. Okay, if anything new comes in, I will let you guys know. Inform you immediately. Was this from the what is the show called? The Whistleblowers? Is this from I haven't seen this episode where he comes. What is this? A time machine? I want to see this episode. So yeah. Anyway, Hood Grier is a thing. You guys know it. I know it. I'll keep you guys posted. Maybe we'll do like it's a bit Bill and Ted-esque, right? Maybe Dr. Tumba gets it. So yeah. That's what that is. I didn't even want to talk about it, but it happens, doesn't it? Let's talk about this first thing that I have on my list tonight, which actually is this story that came out like one day ago, basically. It's brand new, but it did remind me of something, and I kind of want to start with that, to be honest, of something I've seen a long time ago. Oops. And that is a video that I am frantically trying to bring up on my screen right now. But I'm sure you've seen this as well. It's a famous little clip that shows a ball of lightning flying across... yeah, this one, right? So, hold on. Am I showing it? There. So this is a famous video. I'm sure you have seen it. And it allegedly shows ball lightning crossing the rails. And I mean, you look at it, I looked at it at the time, and I mean, it is fairly convincing, right? You get like even the sparks over there. You get the sparks. You get the blue illumination on the ground, right? That's something you want to look for if you see something like this. You see this reflection here? You think it's real, right? I debunked this in a previous video a long time ago. This video's fake. And And I debunked it because that guy who made that special effect also faked other UFO videos. I'm not sure you saw it. It's in one of my debunking episodes. So I could link to this VFX artist who created this animation you see here, because he's got it on his Instagram portfolio or something, right? Where he shows his animation work. And that one's on there, and some other UFOs and stuff is on there as well. So this ball lightning, not real, okay? And I wasn't really aware of this. I always thought ball lightning is a thing, right? It's pretty much confirmed. We know that ball lightning is a thing, and loads of people report it, right? Here you have pilots reporting it, but also civilians saying they see like spheres of lightning moving across the countryside, and they don't scream aliens or UFO, but like it was ball lightning. However, the truth is, ball lightning has never been recorded. There's not a single confirmed recording of a ball lightning, and whether it actually exists, this phenomenon, is somewhat shrouded in mystery, is I guess the way to say it. So it's not 100% sure and confirmed that we actually do have ball lightning, and whether that's a real thing. So that's why this video that I'm about to show you hit pretty hard, okay? It hit pretty hard because it seems to be the first time that we captured ball lightning on camera, okay? Now, where was this recorded? This is a great question. I think somewhere in the United States of America. Hold on a second. I'll bring it on screen. Here it is for you guys. I'll resize it slightly. You probably have seen this video by now, but I want to show it anyway. Where is it? Wednesday, where's the phenomenon? Alberta, okay? So it's in Alberta, and I want to bring it up all the way. Let's take a look.
What is it? It's going for a long time.
A ball of light hovers over a field.
Looks like a fireball, but not really. It's the wrong color.
And this couple from Rich Valley, Alberta, was mesmerized.
After a rather vicious lightning strike, we saw the ball of fire.
Bro, you know what I'm going to say, right? You guys know what I'm going to say. Listen, I'm really not a person that judges people on appearances, okay? Like, I have my own appearance challenges, like everyone else does. But bro, I could park in backwards in that tooth gap, okay? I could shove a whole baguette through there all the way and then pull it back out without it crumbling too much because there's so much space. A 747 landed in there, says Cowcrapper. So, I know it's not his fault. I also have a tooth gap. My gap here is... I went to the dentist. You guys know this if you follow the stream the other day. And the dentist said, your teeth are too big, are too small for your jaw. And I was like, well, fuck you too. This is super offensive. I mean, he said, because all my teeth have a little gap around them, all of them, teeth are too small for my jaw. But bro, this is a whole new level, right? Like, this should be the story. Why do they talk about a ball lightning video when you have this story happening here, okay? So anyway, again, I don't want to, like, just get it fixed, bro. There's, like, great fixes nowadays, dental fixes. It's not even that expensive. Because I can't freaking focus, man. I look at this and I'm just like, I can't focus on anything. I just see this huge Madonna in the 80s-esque tooth gap there.
Retain, I don't know, 20 feet above the ground.
The cell phone video was captured an hour northwest of Edmonton by Ed and Melinda
Damn,
Hardy.
son. Okay, so this is amazing, right? That they zoom in here. Let's go frame by frame. The beauty of YouTube, you can actually go frame by frame. Now look at the size of that thing, right? That's what she said. Don't need to put it in the comments. I know you're going to say it. But it is humongous, dude. This is huge. Giovanni with the 5. I don't ever want to hear another American talking about taking the piss out of British people's crook teeth ever again, mate. You can't fucking say it. Yeah, I did see. I mean, Oasis is back, right? Did you guys see? Are you guys following the Oasis hashtag? Because there's one funny thing that I want to show you guys in regarding to teeth. Check it out. It's trending right now. Oasis Live 2025. Oasis is fucking back, mate. All right. This guy says, here's my painting of Noel. I hope you like it. I have prints if you want one for your Oasis music room or something. Hashtag Oasis Live 25. Bruh, this portrait is so spot on. It's so spot on. It hurts. Like, if you're the person he portrays like this, it does hurt. That hurts, you know? Because you know it's true. You know it's so fucking true. So, there you go. I think when it comes to bad teeth, British and American people, I don't know who's the winner. Is there clearly it's this reputation that British people have these horrible teeth, and to an extent it's probably true, but I don't know. I've seen plenty of Americans with horrible teeth as well. Okay, so there you go. That's that. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going. We were talking about orbs and stuff. So my point is, this thing is huge. Okay, you don't have a real point of reference, but you can kind of guess. So you can see there seems to be some farm equipment here. There's some meadow. I mean, that thing must be like 8 meters in size, you know what I mean? And it might be amplified through the glare, so it's bigger on the camera. It's actually smaller, but because it's filmed with a shitty smartphone or whatever, it's smaller. But dude, the light it emits as well, right? It's a huge sphere.
It shows the ball of light for about 20 seconds before it disintegrates. They were under a tornado watch and experiencing a thunderstorm Wednesday evening when they saw this about a kilometer away from their home.
Yeah, it was moving horizontally above the ground. Incredibly bright, too.
It was very bright.
It was really bright.
Off in the distance, they see something glowing there.
But what exactly is it? According to one scientist, it could be ball lightning or a form of it.
Sometimes you can get that plasma itself or region of plasma to just linger for a little while. And sometimes that plasma itself, if it's in a ball shape, they call it ball lightning.
It's a rare phenomenon that
Thank you, Mr. Scientist. that would be $400. Thank you. Very nice. It's Bob Lazar pulling the panties of one of his hookers. God damn it. Who said that? FPVJ. Unbelievable. Cheers. I wish you a great weekend. What an outrageous claim. Cool ball, right? Mipidototumba says, Monkey, there's a possible debunk for the lightning on the Reddit downed lines. I know, Mipidototumba. Are you spoiling the show or what? Jesus Christ. Why am I even doing it at this point? I'm joking. Yes, there are people who claimed it's a downed line. I was about to get there. Hey, Yo Gaba says, you're a bully. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yo Gaba, listen. I'd love to debate this with you further. Okay, please reiterate with a little bit more detail. You know, we can all be respectful here. I'm respectful to you. I haven't bullied you. Reiterate with a little bit more detail in a sentence or two why I'm a bully. I'm just curious, okay? Did y'all ever watch Phoenix Forgotten? I did not. Crow Friend says, they look like married brother and sister too. Oh no, the couple in the video. Oh no, you see, you're making, who was it, Yo Gaba's point for him or her, that we're bullying people because we say they look like brother and sister. I didn't say this. Okay, if you want to sue someone over that, Crow Friend is the person you have to go to. I did not say this. Okay, I just want to make this super, super clear. Nero eats bugs. Cheers from California, mate. Cheers to California, my friend. From London, yeah, the cold and rainy city, capital city. Well, actually, we're somewhat happy that we got some rain today. It's been fucking hot, mate, over the past weeks, almost months. Not months, weeks. So, yeah, it was good we have some rain now, finally. London's cooling down. Alberta is Canada, not America. Oh my God, Connoisseur, you're so right. This is so embarrassing. Oh, no. Oh no, I have embarrassed myself now. It happens. Yes, it is obviously Canada. You're right. Cringe. I'm sorry. Sorry, Canadian people who are viewing this. But yeah, let's keep viewing. Maybe they have some. Is there anything more to this? Hold on. So Mr. Scientist guy had his thing to say.
Rare phenomenon that can be produced from intense lightning.
Gilbert,
why
welcome.
it's caused? It's still something scientists are trying to determine.
I'm Mr. Scientist, man. I have a big Tesla coil. I make lightning. Look. It's like it has nothing to do with this lightning in a ball shape flying across this field. But let me show you anyway. Look over here.
What are the right conditions to actually make this phenomenon happen? We don't know because, again, it's such a really rare event and it's not very well understood.
Florian believes that although this weather event is rare, we could see more of it.
the more and more severe storms that we're getting across the prairies, there might be greater chances of other people witnessing these phenomena as well.
The parties say they're lucky to experience an extraordinary event not many people have.
I was glad it was far away from our house, though, because I don't think I'd want to get near that because that's a lot of power in there.
Cabby Maitharan, Global News.
Bro flosses with like a rope. With like a rope that you use to fix a ship. That's what he uses to floss. But anyway, so there you go. Big ball lightning. Truth is, it's not ball lightning confirmed. Most people, as Mepedo Jatumba said, like not most people, but several people are speculating that it is like some kind of power line malfunction. Unfortunately, the footage is not terrible, right? But unfortunately, the footage is not crisp enough at no point to see whether there are power lines going back here, right? It has roughly the right height. Like if you would take the center of this sphere, that would roughly be the right height for power lines. Could be. It's very hard to say. It's very hard to say, you know, from this distance what it is. But I mean, the funny thing and what that made me think of, funny enough, is that probably UFO believers are, or like, you know, UFO personalities who make money with this stuff, were really upset because it was so quickly explained. And basically it's like, here's the footage and it is ball lightning. If they would have seen the footage without context, they would have jumped to freaking conclusions. Oh my God. UFO in Alberta. 45-minute special podcast episode here and there. Huge sighting, okay, amazing. Alberta, it looks like pure energy. Have you seen? It almost looks like supernaturally bright, man. You know, that's the kind of stuff we would have gotten if they wouldn't immediately have said that it is ball lightning or classified as such. So look, man, is it ball lightning or not? I have no fucking clue, you know. But it's funny that this one couldn't be turned into UFO. And by the way, that doesn't stop people, if we go to Reddit, from posting it on the UFO subreddit, though, okay? Like, you want to make sure that anything that even remotely looks like a UFO subreddit, like a UFO, is posted on the UFO subreddit, even it's obviously completely debunked. Here, check it out. Obviously, here, they see, someone posts here. Incredible footage, ball lightning dissolves into 3 orbs, forming a triangular shape before disappearing. Oh my God. I want to see some comments. I want to see the comments under this of if people say, well, they say it's ball lightning, but it could be also extraterrestrial, bro. Maybe not, maybe it is. I haven't read these comments. Cool footage, rare, misunderstood, or poorly understood event. True, is a very rough frame-by-frame timestamp. Like they're giving it the UFO treatment. They're like, here's super slow motion, here's a timestamp. What I found interesting to watch was the reaction of the others in the news clip. It was plainly accepted as true. No fake AI, or if that's real, then it isn't better video, I believe. Well, no. Point is, I assume that these reporters visited them or something. Well, actually, they did phone in their thing, right? They called in through when they were sitting in their car. So maybe nobody ever went there. Because I thought they looked at the landscape and they're like, this is where we filmed it. And you're like, okay, there's the landscape. But even that you can fake, right? You can upload a video to AI now and say, put a bright lightning in there. It is possible. So that person actually has somewhat of a good point. At this point, you can't trust anything. I personally believe they still filmed it, whatever it was. But, you know, he's making a fair point there that we can't just assume it's ball lightning. Or that it's not AI. Are we sure there isn't the 3 transmission lines over yonder? Yes, these transmission lines, that's right. It could be that too. You make similar version. Okay, so nobody says it's aliens. That's really sad because I thought there will always be someone who is just so mentally ill that they will insist it could still be aliens. And, you know, they want to just tell us a fake story here. Okay, fair enough. Okay. It's really somewhat disappointing. The UFO community is disappointing me here. But there you go. Unfortunately, the UFO believers, we couldn't get like a Dr. Stephen Grier 6-hour special about this video, right? Thinking it's a UFO and they are finally here and disclosure has happened because it's been explained so quick. But it is still, I mean, and nonetheless, it is absolutely insane. Even it is some kind of, I don't know, wire malfunction. I mean, dude, this is huge. It is so big. So it is intriguing. It's cool footage. My personal theory is that it's a T-1000 landing and coming to get John Connor. Okay, that's my theory. But who knows? At this point, it could be a lot of things. Steve Long says, look at how many MSM reporters shared obvious videos of planes and helicopters recently. They don't give a fuck. They just want attention and views. That is true. But AI is kind of a new threshold in that almost. Because AI is so low, right? It's such a low thing to do. And if this whole video would be faked, theoretically, that's like a whole new... At some point, we're going to have some kind of crescendo moment there, I think, where some newspaper publishes something and then 2 days later it comes out that it's all fake. The whole thing was AI. Gilbert with the 50 Danish coins. Thank you so much, my friend. What can I say? My love and admiration knows no limit. Except 50 crowns. That's the limit. Kind of the limit. That's fair. That's totally fair. I get that. I love you, Gilbert. Thank you so much for the support. You're an absolute legend. It's a little funny warm-up story, isn't it? A cute little light flying around. Also, by the way, Dogarux, I did see that you said I have no gaming skills, and I am offended. I am offended, and I am angry, and just to put that out there. Smash like button if you're watching this right now, because people keep forgetting this. We're going to move into the next story in a second, and that is that Louis Elizondo is back. Yes, he's back. He's been gone for a while, but now he's hitting hard. Okay? So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But we're taking it slow tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I have to check on my son in a minute. I'm with my son. At the moment, he's 10. He is very irresponsible, as 10-year-olds tend to be. So if I say, you do this now, I'm going to live stream. You're going to go to sleep soon, right? He's like, of course I am, Dad. That's how he looks at me. And I'm like, God damn it, kid. Why would you do it? Just be respectful and sleep when I say you should sleep. He's probably watching this right now. He found out my channel, so sometimes then he goes to his little room and he brings out the iPad and then he watches my stream. And I told him, don't watch my stream. It's an adult stream, okay? This is an 18+ stream. Drink aware. We're consuming alcohol on the stream. This is not a stream for children. For some reason, he does it anyway. It is somehow as if children are naturally rebellious. I don't know what that's all about. Eternal Fall member for 7 months. Look at that. What a legend. Thank you so much, Eternal Fall, bro. And you know what? I'm going to give that 7 month a special moment of vibing. Okay? So this goes out to Eternal Fall. All right. Thank you, my man. This is for adults. Yeah, that's why Dogarux usually is not allowed to be here, because it's first of all after his bedtime, right? He can't sleep. If he watches these live streams so late, his daddy is like, oh, and he gets all hyped up and he can't sleep. So if you're under 18, leave now. Run before it's too late. Go to bed, little monkey, says FPVJ. Yeah, that's true. So I will have to check him on brief just in a second. The Jumbo Sphere. Giovanni with the 5. Flying craft. Aliens, light in the sky, aliens lighting, aliens aerial noises, alien rare cloud formations, aliens lack of critical thought all round. Exactly. That's unfortunately what it is. You're correct. But yes, Louis Elizondo is back. I know you guys are hyped. You guys want to know. You want to know the story. You're like, what is going on? What is going on with Louis Elizondo? Well, you know what happened. We know the Louis Elizondo story. So he had a few, streaks? No, that's the opposite. Strikes. They say 3 strikes and you're out. Strikes is the word I'm looking for. And he had a few of those. He showed us the chandelier picture. That didn't go too well, right? Immediately debunked. There was another thing that I forgot now. That didn't go too well either. And then he held up the irrigation circles picture at the press event, right? The congressional press briefing, I think it was. And ever since then, he was kind of excluded from the party. Nobody wants him anymore. This is obviously also an embarrassment for the government. In that moment when he is at the press briefing, he does represent the government and he holds up a fake picture. It's very embarrassing. So he was kind of out. He's been kicked out. Previously, it seemed like everyone was very excited about him. I don't know if you remember this. Let me see if I can find this. Elizondo, Congress. There were these pictures with that he often shared himself as well, where he's in Congress and he meets with Anna Paulina Luna or whatever her name is, right? And they're shaking hands and they're all smiling and it's like, hey, I'm the guy, right? I am the guy. Until this incident happened with the fake picture. Right, the one of many. Like, there are several incidents. Watch my video. I made a video. It's called "The Downfall of Louis Elizondo." Right, go check that out. In that one, I'll break down quite a few of the moments that led to the point where we are now. So as a result, the truth is, I think this is me interpreting. People just didn't want to associate with him anymore. Previously, I mean, his book and everything, and his history of working with the Pentagon gave him some credentials. But this moment, amongst the others, in the context of the bigger picture, people just didn't want to associate with him anymore. UFO people, as well as Congress and the government, they moved on, right? Sam with the $6.99 Canadian. Thank you so much, Sam. Giovanni with the 5. Look at that, man. It's being picked up in other super chats. I love you, Sam. Thank you for the support. I also love your little, what is that? What's his fucking name? Oh, the drug dealer, the Colombian drug dealer. Waiting. The meme. I love that meme. God damn it. I watched the show. It's called Narcos. Pablo Escobar. I remembered before you wrote it. See? Famous Sam. I know. I remembered it. I had it first. My brain still works. The evidence is proofs in the pudding. Okay? You don't need to say it. It is Pablo Escobar. I know it. I knew it. You don't need to tell me. I know this. My brain works very well. Okay? So yeah, anyway, I got slightly distracted there from Sam's super chat, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sam. Absolute legend. So yeah, that footage that you see here led people to really not wanting to associate with Louis Elizondo anymore. That led to him articulating an apology. He came forward, like he did several times before, right? Where he presented footage that was false, or I remember there's another example where he gave like this presentation and he showed images. One was from a science fiction movie and one was like a known mock-up or something. And he kind of claimed that they are real pictures as well. So there were a bunch of moments like this, again, watch my video for the details, led to him disappearing. Apology happened, then he even did a video on YouTube where he kind of tried to wriggle himself out of this situation. Kind of making the point that, you know, it was all just an example, and I said I didn't know the picture as real. I said it specifically. It's like, yeah, you still don't show this stuff, right? So, didn't look good. Then he disappeared. He disappeared for a month. Maybe a month? Maybe 1.5 months. Something like that, right? I didn't hear anything of him, and I'm looking for this stuff. You know this, okay? Unfortunately. Cheers. Well, good news is he's back. Baby, he is back. And he let us know that he's back. Fuck. My son stole my charger. Where is it? I have to resort to a different charger now. He just came in here and sneakily stole my charger. Children, don't get those. They're like little thieves and everything. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The disrespect. This kid. So anyway, I just opened the window. So he's back with a tweet, okay? He's signing back in. He's like, everything is fine, guys. You don't remember these fake pictures. That's not that important. I know that's the last thing that I did, but here I am with the tweet. And the tweet reads... Let me bring on screen and resize slightly for you guys. So this was tweeted 3rd of July, so yesterday. Okay. No, day before yesterday. 2 days, sorry. So Louis Elizondo refers to this article from thehill.com, posts that. Article is titled, "Did the Pentagon Spread Fake or False UFO Story? We are Skeptical." Right, so, and this refers to the story that we got recently that was kind of spearheaded by an interview that Stephen Greenstreet made with a previous Pentagon official, had him on his podcast, and that Pentagon official said the Pentagon and the government has intentionally faked UFO footage and stories in the past to muddle the water. Right, they faked them. That's what this guy claimed. He said that they created fake folders with authentic-looking UFO documents to troll people who just got their security clearance. I mentioned this previously in videos and in live streams. So, the government was, or the Pentagon in this particular case, seemingly, if we believe this Pentagon official, was clowning around with it, right? Was having fun with UFOs. It's all just a big joke, but it's not real. That's kind of the narrative. And here he obviously found a story on The Hill that contradicts that. Now, I haven't read this story. But it obviously seems to be, it says we're skeptical, right? They're skeptical that they would spread fake UFO stories, which obviously is the narrative that Louis Elizondo wants, right? You don't want it to be confirmed that the government spread fake UFO information and pictures and stories and, misinforms people almost intentionally to muddle the water, because now every single whistleblower that you have could potentially be a victim of having seen a fake document and just not knowing better. It puts every video you show, every photo could be fake, could be actually been faked by the government. So it puts everything into question when it comes to ufology, right? Everything is being questioned with this claim that the Pentagon falsely spread UFO stories. So obviously Louis Elizondo doesn't want this to be real. He wants that to keep the narrative alive that the Pentagon seriously investigates these cases, looks at these cases, that there's a serious dialogue about this stuff. So that's why he posted this. But here's what he says. Excellent points here. I highly suggest reading this. Did the Pentagon spread false UFO stories? We are skeptical. Well, wait a second. I know someone who spread false UFO stories about 1.5 months ago. And about 4 months before that as well. So I'm not sure this is a good point to come in and to now talk about false UFO stories and accusing others. Oh, look at the Pentagon spreading false UFO stories. Bro, the last thing, the reason why you went under the radar about 1.5 months ago is because you spread a false UFO story. Okay? I know you were like, yeah, well, it could be anything. It was just sent to me just before the show and I have nothing to do with it. You're sharing it, you're spreading it. We will assume that you vetted it in some shape or form. Or many people will. Not everyone has seen your comment on it, right? So it's just wild to me, because you would think that if he disappears for 1.5 months and then he comes back, you want to talk about something else. You want to talk about, I don't know, here's a great UFO story, this new whistleblower, or here's this new video that I have, or something where you're like, oh wow, okay, Elizondo's back. No, instead he comes out and talks about fake UFO stories, which is the original reason why he disappeared, which is just not smart from a strategic point of view, from my personal observation. So yeah. Hector M with $4.99. Thank you so much. We're at 7 out of 15 super chats to reach Midweek Madness. Let's see if it happens. I appreciate that so much. Hector Giovanni sending a gifted, and it goes to FPVJ. Well, FPVJ, you're now a member of the family. Okay, and you know what that means? First of all, it means I drink a glass of Chianti to you, which is red wine. Not expensive red wine. I want to make it sound more expensive than it actually is. It's not very. But I'll drink it to you. Also, now that you're a member on the channel, you get access to all previous live streams. These are members-only videos. They are all 4 or 5 hours long, okay? There are hundreds of them to all kinds of different subjects. That is all accessible for you now. Also, exclusive vlogs, exclusive cooking videos, exclusive members room only on our Discord. So if you join the Discord for free, link in the description. Anyone can do that. But FPVJ, if you want, you can talk to the mods. They're going to put you in the YouTube members room, so you get that. Exclusive emojis. And now for the best part. When today's stream ends, we do this on Saturdays, we'll do an after party for members only. That's right, we do this every Saturday. So we do a long stream, it's the regular stream, but then I do a separate stream that's for members only. So you can join that as well now. Okay, so you can see the membership for $4.99 a month, which obviously supports me as well, is actually a really compelling package of content that you get, and privileges. DB, oh, I thought you had something with DB Cooper. D Bone Swish, good to see you, my man, with the 10 US. Thank you so much for the support, bro. This is legendary. Let me drink to that as well. Okay, I drink to you. Did you see that Burleson said Grush introduced him to someone and talked to angels or aliens? This entire thing is developing into goofball bullshit. I saw it, yes, and actually I think I touched on it briefly in a previous live stream. It's like the story is like a week old, 1.5 or something. I think I mentioned it. It wasn't it exactly. It was linked to him going to this event, right, in Mexico, to the Bugasphere event, because it was like, why is Representative Burleson here? That's a bit weird. And it is because someone told him Grush told him, that's at least the alleged story, right? That Grush told him, you gotta go there, and the importance of the sphere and the angels, and you know, giving it like, but you're exactly right. It goes into complete goofball territory. It's not serious anymore. I don't know where this is gonna go, but I guess, yeah, the grift train has to keep on chugging, says Nick P. That's exactly right. So I think you just have to, when the regular claims don't work anymore, you have to branch out and you have to start making more outrageous and more bold claims. And one way to do that, obviously, is go into the religious, right? Like kind of what Chris Bledsoe is doing, where you then suddenly start to claim, you know, it's angels and it's demons and it's all biblical and the Bible links. You know, that can draw in a whole new audience for people, which is what a lot of these people want. So I guess that's why we see these kind of branch outs, right? So is Monkey moon landing believer? Yes, I am, yeah. Moon landing happened, I'm afraid, bro. We have too much evidence. This Apollo 11 crap ship has been photographed many times since it landed. We have a mirror that they left behind on the moon. Yes, the moon landing is real. I'm sorry for that. Giovanni with the gifted, that's right. I need buttons, right, where I don't have to say it anymore. Giovanni with the gifted, Giovanni with the 5. With like a cool echo and a reverb over it, so it sounds a little bit more like Hollywood. I want it to sound like a Marvel trailer when it's Giovanni with the 5. Anyway, Mipito Tumba says, hi, I'm Bob Lazar, and you're probably wondering how I got here. Yeah. Yes, that is me, Bob Lazar, Robert. Not believing in the moon landing is like being a flat earther. It is a little bit. It is a little bit. I wouldn't say it's as extreme, but it is a little bit. Yes. It's quite out there, bro. It's quite out there. Anyway, so Lou Elizondo obviously talks about fake UFO photos coming back. This is not good. Let's see what people reply, because I'm sure people are having fun with this one. Did you send photos of a deformed fetus to people and tell them it was an alien? We talked about this on the show as well, right? I didn't show the pictures because of the YouTube TOS, but he did share these pictures. If you search for like, I mean, I don't know. He allegedly shared those pictures. Someone shared pictures that he claims Elizondo sent to him. Okay, that was like a week ago. That was not Elizondo coming out with it. That was someone else saying this is what he sent him. So. Didn't you spread false UFO stories? What? I love it. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Even normal people who are UAP skeptics are starting to raise their eyebrows, not because they believe or they've seen evidence, but rather, because they've seen evidence, but because it seems like something's being intentionally covered up and lies are being told, says Sam Adams, okay? It's being told and the lies are being covered up, man. He's deep down the rabbit hole. Man, you presented fake-ass pictures that consider authentic. Get the fuck out of here, man. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. I don't think he really thought this through, Lou Elizondo. Thanks for the follow-up. Highly suggest people, the cursory investigation, the biggest of neighborhood, cosmic civilization, mudding the waters almost always won't well. So a few people pointed out. And those are actually quite on top. So it's like, alright, bro. Not good. Not a home run. What's up with the new Jesse Michaels French accent? He doesn't have a French accent? Well, actually, you're giving me a perfect transition here. All how gajo. Because Elizondo also sat down with Jesse Michaels. And I believe this is an older clip. Yes, this is from, well, June 24th. This year it was shared. So I don't know how old it effectively is. I don't know when this show was aired. But here is Elizondo calling into the show to Jesse Michaels, I assume, somewhere. And he's there with a guy called Amar Kandil, okay? So he's there too, and they're hanging out, and they're talking UFOs, and then Elizondo calls in and makes cool claims, because that's literally why you call into these shows, right? You make pretty cool claims. Obviously, Jesse Michaels is like buddies with Lou Elizondo, right? They're all homies. Everyone's a homie. You can't expect big, negative feedback or challenging feedback from Jesse Michaels towards Elizondo. But let's see what he has to say.
We visited you a couple years ago. I don't know if you remember this.
Do you remember what we're about to say?
Yeah, do you know what we're about to say?
I don't, but
I thought he's there calling. He's calling in. I had this in my memory wrong. He's obviously not calling in. He's sitting there. So it must be older. It must be an older video. It's not from June, I don't think.
It's
I've had a pretty interesting life, and a lot of things have happened. So
Yeah,
I'm bracing myself.
Also, in all fairness,
Yeah, you're such a good guy. Keep telling us your amazing stories.
By the way, that whole thing with the poodle in the lampshade, there were no pictures. It wasn't me. So if that's what you're getting at.
no.
Yeah, well, this is probably a Tuesday for Lou, but we saw a green orb with you. I don't know if you remember that. It was nighttime. It was
and it was kind of a peak. I remember as it being a peak moment in like a very genuine conversation about the phenomenon, because it was off camera.
He was describing how the sun is a nuclear fusion reactor, and you were going deep into the science. It was fascinating, and then all of a sudden, boom, right over we're by the shed.
Yeah. And it was like I had never. I think Jesse had seen stuff before, but I had never seen anything, and I always, because it was only happened in my peripheral vision, I always call it half a sighting. Right. But when I read about your experiences in the book, it came back very strongly, because I was like, holy shit.
Wait, what are they saying? They're saying they were at his home? Is that what it is? They were at his home? I kind of missed that part. Might have been just me. Like, because they said like, we saw a green orb with you, Elizondo, right? So assume let me see what they say again.
Describing how the sun is.
Hold on a second. I have to quickly. I'll put some music on for you guys. I have to quickly check on my son. That's very loud. I'm sorry about that. Quickly have to check my son. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere, okay? You guys take it easy. I've just been called. I've been summoned. Oh my goodness. The crisis has been averted. And what a crisis it is. And what a crisis it has been. So I come out, he called me obviously. And he never called me in my life during the live stream. And I come out of my room in the studio. I'm like, what do you want? He's like, don't touch the door. So I turn around behind me on this door that I just opened, the studio door basically, office door. Spider. Like this big on the door. He's like, oh my god, it's a spider. It's like, dude, why do you call it's a spider? Yes, it's summer. There are spiders sometimes. We're not living in, we're not living in freaking Australia. This is fine. You're not gonna die. But the spider. So I had to kill the spider. I had to remove the spider. And now he's fine. Now he's fine again. He's calmed down. Everything's okay. Dogarux. But Dogarux is not my son. I know there are rumors going around that Dogarux is actually my son and he snuck into the community. That is not correct. Okay, just putting that out there. Cheers. Sauces? You mean sauces? I meant saucers. Like the discs. I always respond to that with, we went 6 times and people lost interest. Lunar exploration is expensive and needs to make scientific financial sense. You guys discussing the moon landing still? Are we still doing this? Maybe one day I'll do a moon landing segment. I think I've covered it once before in a stream. I did like a moon landing segment. That was fun actually, but I'd love to do more because there's more. Maybe we do like a whole next midweek madness or something, like a whole moon special, because I also want to talk about like these awesome stories of like buildings on the dark side of the moon. There are photos of like weird. I saw one today. Let me see if I bookmarked it. We'll get back to the Elizondo thing in a second. Hold on. I think I liked the tweet, so it should be in my liked list. Hold up a second. I'm just going through my like list. Here we go. You guys can see my likes. These guys are cool, man. It's like this. Somewhere in rural Africa, they built like a skate park, more or less by themselves, and they always post these pretty epic skate videos, man. It's like low budget African countryside skating. It's pretty cool, man. It's really cool. These kids, you know what I mean? They're fresh on top of the game. Oh yeah, rest in peace, Michael Madsen, right? That has to be said. It looks like I did not... Oh, that was a bit funny. Like the Grier on the bike. The Grier on the bike made me like this one. It's funny. But it seems like I did not bookmark this one, unfortunately. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just wanted to have a look. I'll call in for that episode, says Digital Dust. Okay, nice. So Digital Dust will call in. He's our moon expert. He's our man on the moon. We're going to send Digital Dust up to the moon, and he's going to stand there with like a microphone. Give us live feedback, live footage. Is he seeing anything unusual? We're going to switch up to the moon a few times throughout the show, okay? Sick with Safe Skate Park, right? Edwin Guerra. Yeah, follow them. Actually, let me plug their name, right? You should all follow them on Twitter. It's called, not surprising, Uganda Skateboard Society. Okay? Uganda Skateboarding. You see it there. Follow them. They're cool. They just always post skate clips. It's just cool skate clips of kids somewhere in Africa doing tricks. So it's worth following them. It's always nice to see that in your timeline. It's never annoying. Ah shit, Monkey, you want to do some remote viewing? Okay, fair, yeah, we can try that. Let's try that, Edwin Guerra. You can remote control me. I'm opening myself to your vibes, to your control. Moon is hollow, right? Exactly, that's another great theory, right? The hollow moon theory. Thank you. Man never left low Earth orbit. I wish they did, says Digital Dust. Okay, fair enough. Okay, great. So Digital Dust is a moon skeptic, or like a moon landing skeptic, right? Who thinks it was a hoax. So we have to talk to that as well. Maybe you have to call in on that show, Digital Dust. It'd be great to have you. I'm happy to debate you on that. You know, we can still be friends. Even we would probably disagree. I've got a feeling we might disagree. But there are so many cool stories around the moon, right? From the moon landing hoax to the dark side of the moon, to the hollow moon, to, you know, so much cool stuff. So I want to do a moon special almost. So I might do that. Maybe this week or like next week, the Midweek Madness show, if we reach the super chats. We still haven't reached it yet. Just putting that out there. Cheers. And that obviously also means you support me, because this show, you may have noticed, has no ads. Okay, it's an ad-free show, and we live off super chats. So for me, in order for me to have cereals tomorrow morning to recover from my terrible hangover that I get from this wine, this fairly cheap wine that I'm drinking, I would appreciate a super chat. If you have like $2.99, you know, it's like me begging. It's a little bit like the people doing circus acts on the street and then they walk around with a hat afterwards. It's like, didn't I do well? Were you not impressed by my act? Throw $3.99 in my hat, please. Anyway, I appreciate the support. And if it doesn't work at the moment with your financial situation, so that's cool as well. I love you still, okay? Don't take it. You still out of focus? No, I'm on focus now. But I have my backup camera. Is it better now? Let me see. How about this? Oh, this is not perfectly adjusted. Uh-oh. I don't like this camera. Makes me look so pale. Hold on. How about that? See, that's a good. We can do this. Is this sharper? Different camera. Just poor light intake on both cams at the moment. Excuse me. Hold on. No. I can up the light here. I will look even more white. How about that? See, I've got control now. Kind of. But I just look pale. You're gonna have to live with me looking pale. Sorry about that. So it was Monday. I was drunk on Cambion. Then, okay, fair enough. Y'all ever see that fall off brace skateboarding with the Scientology money grab? What? No, I have no idea what you're talking about there, Hector. Sorry. Did you just brighten your monitor? No, I've brightened my little light that I have here. And I feel the camera should be slightly lower. But like this. See, like that. How about that? But yeah, still making some fine-tune adjustments. Yeah. Trust me, bro. Pale is Silurian alien, says Atenko01. So basically, you're saying I'm an alien. What is a Silurian alien? I'm gonna Google this right now. I want to see if there's some basis to your research and claims. Hold on a second. Silurian alien. Silurians are not extraterrestrial aliens, but rather a fictional race of reptilian humanoids who are native to Earth, having lived on the planet long before humans. I love that it kind of states this as a fact here. The Google AI. It's like they've lived here long before us. They are depicted as having developed sophisticated civilization in the distant past to retreat underground, survive the cataclysmic event. When they re-emerge, they often come into conflict with humanity. Oh, that's what it is. So I'm like a reptoid, something like that. Let's get the $4.99, my man. G2G, thank you so much. Just wanted to stop by and say hello to everyone. Have a great stream, Sissing Monkey. Have a great weekend, everyone. Okay, I appreciate that, my man. Thank you, Leedskeet, for the $4.99. Pushing up the super chat limit we have tonight to the absolute limit. I think I'm going back to the other camera. I can't handle myself that pale. I don't like it. See? Here I also look pale, but less pale. And the good thing is with this camera, I feel, I can kind of turn it down ever so slightly. You see? Like that. That's still fine, right? Right? It's not too bright. So yeah, at least I have some color in my face. Eriko says, it's interesting that the ancient Vedas talked about lizard people and ape people in the deep past. Yeah, dude, listen. All these civilizations experimented with hallucinogenic drugs. You know what I mean? They were all taking like whatever it is, ayahuasca, psychedelic mushrooms. They were experimenting with that shit. They found it out and they loved it and they got high as a freaking kite. So it's, you know, that's how I would explain it, because the interesting thing is the reptile, the idea of a lizard or something, is something they know. A lizard is something that they see in nature. They're familiar with it. They know how it looks. So it is something that potentially could, you know, turn up in hallucinations. So if you see someone, you're really tripping hard in some freaking tent, like 4,000 years before Jesus is born, you know, and then you see your friend suddenly turning into a reptile. And I think, you know, his face or whatever, and his face starts to shift and stuff. This is LSD stories, you know what I mean? This is like psychedelic drug stuff. So, yeah, I think that's how I would explain most of this. Living, you mean loving the purple background. My wife's favorite color. I appreciate that. It's also my favorite color, purple, pink. I love it. It's beautiful colors. They're soft. They're cozy. You know, I wouldn't decorate my whole home with pink or whatnot, but it does soften it. I know what you mean. It is nicer than before we had the lights. So I feel it is somewhat of a worthwhile investment to have the lights. Bisexual lighting, says Hochhausen. Listen, bro, I'm not sure you should expose yourself that openly in a public chat in a YouTube stream as being extremely insecure about your gender and your possibly the size of your cock, okay? Because you're somewhat intimidated by a color. I would question a few things there. But, you know, it's just a comment. I might misinterpret these things, so I hope you have a wonderful weekend, Hochhausen, okay? But if pink intimidates you and thinks that makes something bisexual or gay, It's really not. It's just a pretty color, bro. Feels good. Pink feels good. I'm joking. I love you, Hochhausen, okay? I love you. No, he's fine. He's fine. I didn't roast him. He's good. He's good. He's good. He's one of us. One of us. He's probably left already. He's like, who the fuck is this guy? Boom, left. No, I've seen him here before, okay? Seen him here before. So I love you, Hochhausen. I was just joking. Sorry. Sometimes I, the other day also, someone made a comment. I saw this on stream and I was kind of disappointed. His name was James. I still remember his name was James. And he made this comment, and I don't know what it was. But for me, it hinted towards Trump, or it hinted towards politics, or like something like this. And I replied, I said like, oh, come on, James, you don't have to put this thing, make it political now. And I moved on. And later I saw just in the replay where he was like, well, I didn't mean it to be political. He was really angry and he left. And he was so angry that I claimed that he wanted to go political, even he didn't. So, sorry, forgive me. I didn't want to go off on you like this, Hochhausen. But I love the lighting. Okay, so there you go. Everyone else, smash like for the bisexual lighting. I'm totally a duck hole with that. That is fine. Yeah, Elizondo is watching. Well, you're a bit late, Elizondo. We have finished the segment, basically. Well, to be honest, not completely. We're still we haven't finished the video, right? The interview, where is it? Right here. Let me bring it back up because we have to complete it. I'm a completionist in this regard, at least. So we need to finish the interview. So a few more things that he says. They're talking about this green orb that they saw together with Lou Elizondo. So let's listen.
As a nuclear fusion reactor, and you were going deep into the science. It was fascinating, and then all of a sudden, boom! Yeah. Right over we're by the shed.
Yeah. And it was like I had never. I think Jesse had seen stuff before, but I had never seen anything. And I always, because it was only happened in my peripheral vision, I always call it half a sighting. Yeah. But when I read about your experiences in the book, it came back very strongly because I was like, holy shit, I have experienced what he's talking about with him at his house.
So reference at his house, right? So he said they're at Louis Elizondo's house. For the reference, in case you don't know, in his book called Imminent, right? The book is called Louis Elizondo's latest book. He describes, and I read this quote in the video previously, how he had orbs flying through his house. He would be just sitting there and reading, and he would be seeing orbs flying through his house. Assuming it's aliens, because I guess he's dealing in alien stories, so it's probably aliens. Don't know what it is, but he described this, and he even, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he even in this book, the passage that I read says something like, it became so frequent that I was really annoyed by all these orbs. So you can imagine Elizondo is just in his house, like, with these orbs. He's like, guys, can we please calm the fuck down? I know I see UFOs all the time, but in my house, please. So that's how I imagine it. But that's what this guy, that's what Jesse Michaels is referencing here. He's basically saying, we saw what you described in your book with you, meaning an orb flying over the shed, he says, in his garden. From the peripheral vision, which obviously is something Louis Elizondo loves. He loves this, okay, because it now puts him in a position in this interview because they just said, dude, we saw the thing you described, oh my God. So he's like, well, he's in a position now to play that ball easily because they just ate his bait, basically.
What he's talking about with him at his house.
A lot of folks have. Look, I at the end of the day, I can only give you my observations. Again, my opinion doesn't matter because people say,
that's right.
Could it be ball lightning? Sure. St. Elmo's fire? Sure. Could it be weird electrical circuitry in the house that's causing atmospheric ionization in a localized area and ionizing the atmosphere? Yeah, sure could be. What I do know are the facts that it was witnessed not only by me and my wife and my kids, but also our neighbors. But it occurred when I got into ATIP. And it also was...
So he's like, once I accepted that job at ATIP, the orb started to fly around in my house, bro. That was the moment. They checked LinkedIn. The orbs were like refreshing LinkedIn. It's like, oh, Elizondo accepted the ATIP job. Boom. This is our go. Let's go. Fly around the house as much as you can. Orb. Do some orb stuff. That's what the orbs did. Giovanni with the 5. Thank you so much, Giovanni. I appreciate it. The closest, I thought you were going to announce you're closeted. That's not happening. The closest I ever got to space was a transatlantic flight in a Concorde in 1980. Oh my God. It was a 60,000 feet, and out the window the sky was black. Wow. So because you were so high, it's like much closer to like, the edge of the atmosphere than regular flights. So the atmosphere or the sky was black. That's super, super interesting. Man, the Concorde, I'm glad you experienced that. I would have loved to fly with the Concorde. Many people don't know this, but the inside of the Concorde, my mom told me this because my dad used to be a pilot, not Concorde. My mom used to be a stewardess when she was very young. So she had the chance to go into the Concorde once, and she said the interior is underwhelming. It is a plane that would transport you from, London to New York in 4 hours, was it? It flew Mach 2 or something, right? It doubled the speed of sound. And then there was one terrible crash somewhere in Paris or France, and then that plane never flew again. But here it is. Hold on, let me see. Just trying to bring up some pictures. We don't need to talk about the Concorde a lot, but it is fascinating. It's not a lot of seats. It's actually not very big, right? If you're sitting in it. Look, this is roughly how it looked on the inside. Here are some pictures from the old original cabins. Was that the Concorde cabin? The fuck is this, bro? Oh, they must be doing an exhibition inside. I don't think from during the flight they're like, let's put up these canvases on little easels during the flight. Do they have to fasten their seatbelt too? So I think this is probably like a retired Concorde, and they do an exhibition in it or something. But you can see the interior rather underwhelming. Okay, it's not exactly that you're like, oh my God, so flashy. But it was the coolest thing, and that's super cool that Giovanni experienced that, man. Flying the Concorde, decommissioned long time ago. I think you can still visit it. It stands. I think one stands here in London actually at the Heathrow Airport somewhere. But it's not flying. It just rests there. It just sits there. Bordskin says, I figured it was used to balls flying in his face. Amazing. That's very, very funny. The UFO has the Earth pulled towards it, right? People see this. Good to see you, my man. I didn't read your name yet. It says, I have been in a Concorde, so much smaller and less nice than you'd think. There's one you can walk through at the Museum of Flight in Seattle. Oh, okay. Very cool. You see, if walking through a Concorde would be interesting. But again, it's probably like somewhat underwhelming, but it's very cool. It's just a cool piece of history. Guess that's the cockpit, right? So interesting. So I remember this as well when I would be flying with my dad when I was very young, when I was maybe like 7, 8, right? I could fly with my dad. He would be flying a, 737 or 747 at that time. So, and they still had a navigator. So you can see as it is here, you have two pilots in the front and then a guy sitting on this board that's on the right-hand side here. And I don't know, to be honest, I have no fucking clue what he did exactly, right? But he was just navigating. He was just making sure, basically, that they're following the right navigational points, somehow using some kind of ancient version of GPS, I assume, on this machine. And then obviously later that became obsolete, right? And then we didn't need this anymore with better tech. But it's interesting to see this. And this is not a very luxurious cockpit, right? This looks small and tight and yeah. But flying the Concorde was still a prestigious thing, I guess. Giovanni with the 5. If I live long enough, I'd love to take a suborbital flight. For FYI, this should not make me an astronaut. That's right. Probably it wouldn't. I mean, yeah, it might happen. I don't know your exact age and all that, but it might happen within the next 10, 15 years. And I'll tell you why, because there's a fuck ton of money in it. That's why. Okay. People make money. Loads of people try to figure it out. Bezos has his own space company. Obviously, Elon is in that business. We have people like the Virgin Branson guy. What's his name? John Branson? No. Do you know the guy? The head of Virgin. You know who I mean. The billionaire guy. I forgot his name. So embarrassing. But anyway, Richard Branson, thank you so much, Rose and Packet Creeper. You guys are awesome. Richard Branson. These kinds of guys, they are in spaceflight and they want to be the first. They want to have a small airport somewhere, in California or in New York or somewhere in London where you can go, pay money, boom, and you go into the stratosphere or close to it, right? A little bit of almost weightlessness, zero gravity. That'd be cool. I think people would pay for this. You just have to find a way to make it affordable, right? Like a flight now to, let's say, to New York or whatever, like a big flight around the world is like, what, $1,500? So you got to offer this for $2,500, $3,000. That's the cost it has to be. Then it will be successful. If you make really good flights, and maybe it even connects, so you fly from London to New York, and you touch the stratosphere, right? So you do get the stratosphere experience, and you get a flight to New York. It's gonna be $3,000, but you get the stratosphere thing. I think something like this could work. But yeah, let's hope it happens sooner rather than later. I want to see it too. Telepathy is real, says Finlay Brewer. I'd love to see your evidence for that, my friend. I do not buy that telepathy is real. Obviously, the thing about telepathy is it's totally down to opinion. There have been loads of tests, okay? That is kind of on my side. Sorry. Sorry, that was... hold on. Sometimes I didn't even hear the sound. For some reason, sometimes the sound is loud. I'm so sorry. Let's say again. Oh God, why is it doing this? I'm so sorry. I'm really turning the volume. I have the volume at 0. I just wanna hold on. Okay. Now we can work. Oof. Okay, we're back. I'm so sorry. Pro streamer. This is a professional stream. Favors Em, you're absolutely right. Rest in peace, people with headphones. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What have I done? I am still a professional streamer, so don't judge me. I'm 61, says Giovanni, and can currently afford monkey super chats, but suborbital flights, not at that level. Yeah, they're more than £5, I think. It'd be a bit more than that. But again, like, look, if it's $3,000 or $3,500, that's something people can afford. $3,500 is not cheap, but for a once-in-a-lifetime experience, let's say for someone's 50th, 60th, 70th birthday, whatever it is, right? Depending on how safe it is. And how healthy you are, right? Don't think you can do like a suborbital flight. You have to have additional health tests and stuff. But people could make a lot of money with it, so... yeah, I could see it happening. The Jolly Man says, they want you to believe matter contracts in the direction of time when Earth is moving at light speed 1,086,000 miles per hour. Right. Not sure that's light speed, but I think you're being sarcastic. I'm trying to understand your comment. I'm trying my best over here. Rosé says, isn't it like 100k for suborbital flight between 100 and 250k? See, that's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably with that kind of money you could get something like that. But it's still extremely expensive. They need to bring that down. That's what I'm saying. They need to bring it down to $3,500. When it's $3,500, then we're really talking, right? Then it's a whole different ball game. So, Anthony Alfred York says, thanks for another great video, Elizondo and Koa. The grift keeps on the grift that keeps on grifting. I thought the gift that keeps on giving. Have a wonderful weekend. You too, Anthony. I'm drinking to you, okay? I'm drinking to you, my friend. I hope you are good tonight. Hope you're enjoying the show. I hope everyone is. Smash the like button if you do. Subscribe to the channel. Join our Discord. I don't need to say these things, right? You guys know it. We have a great Discord community, okay? The link to that is in the description. Loads of people hang out there, including myself. Yes, you can talk to me. I know. Crazy. Wow. It's like, you know, talking to celebrity. I'm joking. Cheers. Happy Saturday. Finlay Brewer says, I can hear everything. Lol. Uh-oh. All right, because did you say that? No, you said not remote viewing is real. Telepathy is real, right? That was what you claimed. Look, dude, man. Here's the thing. Telepathy, if real, would be a life-changing, a world-changing event. Okay, if we would discover that some human beings reliably are able to read other people's minds, to read, you know, what is on a piece of paper behind a wall or whatever, right? And if that would really be true, if they could second guess numbers that people are thinking of, and so on, and we could prove that's real, dude, that would be a life-changing thing. And there was a time when we, as humans, assumed that might be real. And let me give you a little breakdown, because it is actually an interesting story. I told it once before, but you know, obviously, that we did all this MK Ultra stuff, and we did all this, you know, you watched The Man Who Stared at Goats. We heard from Uri Geller that he was at some point brought in, and that the CIA was experimenting with him, remote viewing, and trying to, use his skills for military strategic purposes or for crime purposes and so on. As you probably know, these experiments have been discontinued, right? They've been like stopped at some point. They're not doing it anymore, and there's a reason for them not doing it anymore, because it didn't go anywhere. Too often it was coincidences, or it didn't go anywhere and it was just a joke. People were, there was no reliable hit rate. Sure, maybe he was able to, I saw the sketches too. I saw the sketches that Uri Geller did of someone who is allegedly in a room down the corridor, and he draws like a house, and Uri Geller kind of draws a house, and he draws a duck, and Uri Geller kind of draws something, at least a bird, right? And it's like, there's some correlation, and I can see it, and I don't know how he does it, dude. I don't think I can figure this out, but Uri Geller is not a supernatural human being. Uri Geller, as all these other people, they are just people who are very good at sleight of hand. And I have no freaking clue how they do it. I also don't know how, what's his name? This famous magician, Houdini, got himself out of a barrel with 15 locks around it underwater when he himself was chained up with 15 locks. You know what I mean? Like, how? I don't know, but it's sleight of hand. This stuff exists. Sleight of hand exists. Magicians who do similar tricks exist. Telepathy doesn't. Now, here's what's interesting. By the way, thanks so much, Maxim, for the 5 Canadian. I really appreciate it. I'll read your super chat in a minute. I just don't want to lose this train of thought. Okay, I'll get to your super chat in a second. Here's what's interesting. You wonder, why did the government do this, right? Why would the US government have a program that they obviously fund, that they put maybe millions of dollars, definitely millions of dollars, into a program like that, giving them facilities, time to do research, trying to find out, is there something to remote viewing, to paranormal skills, to telekinesis? Can we use it as a weapon, right? Basically, in some form or as a strategic advantage. Now, why would they do that? Here's why. I read a story about it, and I don't know if this story is, we read about it. Who knows what the fuck is true these days? But the story that I read was that at some point in the 1960s or early 70s, the US government got leaked, like through some kind of spy, a full budget of the Russian government, right? So here they have now, the US government, this budget, and they can look exactly what the Russians are spending money on. Might have been a few years old or whatever, but like a fairly recent budget. So they're analyzing this budget, the CIA, and the FBI, and they're like, bro, Russia is spending like 400 million a year on like paranormal psi research. Why are they doing this? We are not doing this, right? So they were like, if Russia is doing that, we should be doing that. And then they started the program. That's how this program came to be. At least that's what I read. I wasn't there, right? But that's the context, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Now, keep in mind that freaking Russian budget could have been faked. The whole thing could have been a hoax. Who knows if it was actually real? And if it wasn't real, the beauty of that is stunning to me, that someone put that into this faked budget, and because of that, we got all these experiments, we got all the MK Ultras and all the different mind control programs that now rank these myths around them, right? But ultimately, it all boils down almost to that mistake, right? Which I find, again, it's a theory. I don't know if it's true, but I find it very, very fascinating, and it's more likely to me than the government actually finding something. And then obviously coming from that, when it comes to telepathy, extensive testing has been done by governments with serious funding in conditions that, medical conditions, scientific conditions, and every single test failed. There are certain thresholds. If you do a test about mind reading, telekinesis, right? I want to read your mind. What's the number that you see in front of you, or the object? There's obviously always a hit rate that is chance. You will always, if it's numbers from 0 to 10, the chance is probably pretty good, right? If you say 100 times a number from 1 to 10, how many are you going to hit? 30%? 35, 40%, right? So there's, by chance, just sheer chance. So there's always that element. So every test has like a certain amount of chance. And there were like a few experiments that went slightly over that chance, over that percentage that's absolutely normal, but like minuscule. And it couldn't be replicated. So if they would repeat the test with the same kid or the same person, it would lead to different outcomes. And now it's totally within the norm, right, of chance. So at no point in history has it been proven that there's anything to this. But what has been proven is that countless times it has been debunked. Okay, there's like this story about the horse. What is it called? Telekinesis horse. It has a name. Maths. Horse doing maths. Clever Hans. Clever Hans. It happened in Germany, so it has a German name, so it is called Clever Hans. Clever Hans was a horse, okay? And it was a big deal, as you can see here. People are stacking themselves up in the back here just to see Clever Hans, the horse. And it could do math. And everyone's like, holy fuck, Clever Hans can do math. It's the smartest horse of all time. Horse consciousness proven. Well, it turns out the whole thing was fake, right? The whole thing was fake. So we have loads of examples where people claim supernatural things like this or telekinesis, including the telepathy tapes. I know where you're coming from. You like telepathy tapes? I'll get to that in a second. Every single time we have these claims, they're fake. They are debunked and disproven. Now let's talk about the telepathy tapes. Telepathy tapes is obviously a documentary thingy, podcast, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they have all these autistic kids. And these autistic kids do seemingly incredible things. They read minds. They do telekinesis. They have people standing behind them holding up numbers, and they say the numbers. Here's the problem that I find personally with this show or this podcast from what I've seen. Every time these kids, it's young adults and kids. Kids sounds like, it's young adults and kids, but they are all, I believe they are autistic, quite heavily autistic on the spectrum, right? So not like lightly autistic like many people are, but like heavily on the autistic spectrum. So they move, some of them have like, it's almost a disability, right? But they claim that these kids have these telekinetic abilities. So they say the number, the kid guesses the number, it's incredible, it looks fantastic, it's a show. It's edited, right? It's not like a seamless thing. On their website, you can go and pay extra. And then you can see the full experiments. But it's behind a paywall. You have to pay for it to see that, okay? Or become a member or whatever the fuck it is. So that's already one red flag where I'm like, are we trying to prove something remarkable here that could change humanity? Or are we trying to get people to pay a subscription fee? What is this about, right? So it makes me already very, very skeptical. And then, every time these kids read someone's mind or guess a number correct, a person of trust is in the room. And not only is a person of trust in the room, the person of trust is close to them. The person of trust is right behind them and even touches them in some cases. The person of trust has like their hand on their shoulder, right? That person of trust can see the number, right? The person of trust can see, oh, the number is 8, right? Dude, I'm not saying they're cheating, but what I'm saying is, if you want to prove anything in a field like this that has been debunked so many times, you better put that shit into a scientific fucking environment, okay? You can't have a person of trust standing or sitting behind this person when they are guessing these numbers. And they're like, no, but it doesn't work when the person is not there. Yeah, well, then it's not telepathy, bro, okay? If you need to have a person standing next to you, then it doesn't work. Then it's linked to the person. There are too many variables that question whether it is actually working. So what I would tell you is, there's a reason why the telepathy tapes have never said, you know what? These children that we know, these kids, we pay for it, do these tests with them. The ones that agree, right? We will ask the parents, put them into a more lab-like environment, right? It doesn't need to look like a freaking lab, but you know what I mean. And do scientifically researched tests on them that prove their skills. They never did that. Why did they not do that, bro? Why did they not do that? If they just discovered telepathy, why would they hold back on people saying, let's test it? Why? You know the answer. I know the answer. And that's the end of this segment. The Benjamin says, UAPs over your house, only $49.99 a month. Introductory offer. Impress your friends with grainy footage. All that we allow. That's great. I can see that happening. That's great, Benjamins. Good write-up as well. I like how you're thinking, right? You've got the right... We're selling it in. We're really selling it in here. Good introductory offer there. You know, get people on board with an affordable price. Wouldn't anyone want... you know, a little disc covering over their house? I think anyone want that, so... Trust Me Bro t-shirt merch. Good point. Check the merch. Okay, I don't have any around me right now, but the link is in the description. We have Trust Me Bro merch. We have Disclosure merch. We have so many different... We have logo merch. We have a logo of my channel with me as an alien. We have so many different... We have mugs. We have hats. We have MonkeyCon merch. MonkeyCon 2025, the big event. If you weren't there, if you missed it, then I can't help you, but it was huge, so... MonkeyCon merch we have there. Check the merch. The link is in the description. Another way to support me. Okay, buy yourself a nice t-shirt. They're not even that expensive. You can get like $20 or something. Come on, man. I'm making almost no money on that shit. Get yourself a beautiful t-shirt. Disclosure t-shirt, maybe. You know, check the merch. Anyway, I think it's a little moment to vibe, okay? To honor Hood Grier in the back of our mind, to feel the vibes of the night. It is Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going in. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still here. It is 30 minutes past 10 here in the UK. It is cold now. Got some cold wind coming through my window, and it's comfortable. It's finally getting comfortable here. It's been hot. It's been hot for a long time. You're in Keith Floyd model, says Daryl Cobb. What the fuck is that? I'm gonna Googling it. You're in Keith Floyd model. I'm Googling it right now. What the fuck's Keith Floyd model? What's a Keith Floyd? Keith Floyd, British celebrity cook. Gastro. What the hell does that mean? It's just a chef, like a TV chef or something. I don't know what you're talking about. I love you anyway. Giovanni with the 5. Giovanni coming in hard tonight. I appreciate it, Giovanni. Monkey, I've posted an interesting video in Discord, hashtag technology, about urban exploration and the abandoned Buran complex, which is a Russian shuttle. I've seen this before. Maybe not this exact video, but I've seen it. There's somewhere in Russia like an abandoned space shuttle factory where they built them, and they have like 1 or 2 half-finished space shuttles in there. Very cool. I mean, that's the dream of an urban explorer, right? Very cool stuff. I might check it later, Giovanni. I might put it on the show later, but I've seen it as well. You guys should check it. Join the Discord, right? You would see the video that Giovanni posted now. If you join the Discord, you find it. It is very cool. If you haven't seen it and you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, it's a bunch of guys breaking into that derelict Russian space shuttle factory, right? And walking around in it, and it's very, very cool. So I love that. But we have to move on. We have a tight schedule, okay? So we have to start talking about... I don't even want to say it. It doesn't roll off the tongue. It does not roll off the tongue. We have to start talking about... David Wilcock. Yes. That's it. I said it. Unfortunately, we have to talk about David Wilcock. That segment is coming up now. What is this track? It's nice, says Fast Trick. Well, it is one of the videos that is on B. Frankie Beats channel. B. Frankie Beats is the guy who produces the music that I always play in the background. It's a huge YouTube channel. I mean, he's got like 58,000 subscribers, but he does these beats himself, right? He does these 90s Mobb Deep, whatever 50 Cent in this case. All kinds of types of beats that he does. Hundreds of them. Hundreds. So you go check his channel, subscribe to B. Frankie Beats, okay? He is the guy who always puts the music behind these streams. For the most part. Sometimes at some point we had like a jungle phase where we were listening to jungle music. But you know, like lots of Wu-Tang style beats and, you know, these kind of heavy New York beats. Oh yeah, the beat on this one, right? The bass. Oh. wish I could produce beats like that. That's fire, man. This Beef Frankie guy. And I said it before, he doesn't even know that I've been using his beats for years and years. People often ask, like, this is such a cool beat. I always refer them, obviously, to his website. But I wish I could just go there, shake his hand and say, thank you, brother, for doing all this work, man. Free in the background, people love it. It's a perfect match. Thank you, bro. It never repeats because it's so many beats. Hundreds and hundreds of beats he did. Dave, I'm afraid, Dave. I got that reference. I would almost say one of my favorite movies, okay? Space Odyssey 2001. Such a good movie, man. Very underrated. Because it comes from a different time, but it's like, it's such a good... it's so clever. So well done. Anyway, maybe another day. We'll discuss that in depth. Watched it a few days ago, says Jesper. Really good, man. Really good film. The first 40 minutes are confusing. I know. The first 40 minutes. I mean, think about this, right? That's like a whole episode. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it has basically nothing to do with space or anything. But it's part of it, man. It's a Kubrick masterpiece. You should honor and feel honored that you're allowed to watch Stanley Kubrick's film. You know what I mean? Great movie for being made in the 60s. Exactly. So many cool scenes, so many cool set pieces, the design, the idea of the monolith. I don't want to spoil it. Oh, God. I'm spoiling it. Oh, no. Time to bath in your own pee. Yes, we will talk about David Wilcock. But to be honest, it's going to be a fun segment. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want you to talk about David Wilcock. Nobody likes David Wilcock. I literally get comments like this. But here's what's gonna happen. I read into the Gaia TV drama, right? So Gaia TV being this TV station, online stream on demand service for like esoteric TV shows, right? They've got like loads of different shows, and you can go there now, right? It's like Gaia TV, I think. Let me see, Gaia.tv, and they still have, right? It's still a thing. You can subscribe. Transform your mind, transform your life, okay? Be part of the Gaia family. So you can kind of see a little bit here. It's like a Netflix for like esoteric bullshit. Okay, sorry, bro. That's my opinion, right? So they have all these shows, the journey of remembering, rewind. So it caters to anything you want, right? Like if you want, oh, the government is sending radiation waves into my head, then you can see that. If you want... life after death because you just lost someone, then you can have that. If you want UFOs and spiritual awakening, then you can have that. That's what they're catering to. I don't know how much it is. How much is it? Let me see. Can we see Gaia Plus? How much? I want to see. Okay, fuck. How much is Gaia? Let's see if Google AI can summarize that for me. So Gaia is $13.99 per month, or $100 a year, $119 a year. So you can also go several years, but that's roughly the price range we're talking here. Okay, so Gaia is a thing, and obviously David Wilcock was associated with Gaia. He did like a show that was called something about awakening. Wilcock Gaia show. What was it called? I read it earlier. Wisdom Teachings, right? Which is a show name that I absolutely love, especially for someone like fucking David Wilcock. So Wisdom Teachings was one of the shows. Cosmic Disclosure, I believe, was a different show that they had on there, right? It's now on Prime Video. These are links to Prime Video down here, so you can still watch it. David Wilcock with Emery Smith. So they're doing this. But the relationship between Wilcock, Gaia, and his friend Corey Good, who was interviewed, has deteriorated, and now it is a bloody mess of lawsuits and embarrassing disaster. That's literally what it is, okay? So we're going to talk about that next, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to dissect it in a lot of detail. Cheers. Nifty Skate says, I subscribed to it, only watched one episode of Ancient Civilization or something. Then I forgot to cancel my membership for a while. Oh no. Oh no. I watched it for fun, but it was too batshit and boring for me. No, I can imagine. I mean, let's be honest. I think a lot of it is just really like new age and esoteric bullshit. You know, they get anyone who has something to say about the awakening, enlightenment, spiritual, new age bullshit. You get a show on fucking Gaia. I'm exaggerating, obviously, right? It's not that easy. You need to be famous like David Wilcock. But dude, I haven't looked at the content, but for me personally, I don't think there would be enough on a platform like Gaia to keep me busy and to keep me interested, right? But anyway, so that's drama, that's going on, and we're going to discuss that and dissect it in just a minute. We're going to talk about David Wilcock, Corey Good, and the Gaia TV drama, because there are lawsuits involved, and so much more. But ladies and gentlemen, first, I have to go check on my son. I'm sorry. I wonder if he's sleeping. Is he behind? He's behind that door. Is he hunting spiders again? We've seen him earlier. He's 10 years old. He's hunting spiders. Unfortunately, can't put him on camera. I'd love to put him on camera, but gets into legal challenges. Giovanni Agnelli with the 5, and he wants to come on the camera as well.
Dad, let me put on live streams.
No, you're not on my live stream. Go to bed.
But the live stream, Dad.
Gaia Plus is the griftosphere, says Giovanni with the 5. Safe space echo chamber where the grifters can make unsubstantiated claims without fear of being questioned. Exactly that's what it is. And you're highlighting such an important point there, Giovanni. These are the platforms that are obviously pay to win, quotation marks. You have to pay to get in, like a Netflix thing. So anyone who pays is obviously open to the idea, to the spirituality, to what it is, or the vast majority of it is. So, like Giovanni says perfectly, it's an echo chamber. It becomes this place where you can say any nonsense you want. You know, you can have a 2-hour show on Gaia about how there are actually flowers on the freaking back of the moon for some weird reason. And you get away with it. You get away with it. People are not going to be like, dude, we have to remove this guy. You probably will get away with this nonsense. So, yeah, that's what Gaia is. So I appreciate Giovanni's summary there. Very, very good. That's a big part of it as well. The griftosphere, the safe space, right? Like Giovanni said, that's exactly what it is. It's a safe space. And let me tell you a thing. Fuck that word safe space. I fuck your safe space. I don't give a shit. If you talk nonsense like that, if you talk to say the earth is fucking flat, or, you know, lizard people live on earth, subscribe to Lizard People Records, by the way, YouTube channel. Search for the channel Lizard People Records and subscribe. But if you make those claims, fuck off, dude. That's what I say, okay? You should fuck right off. But anyway, that's just my take. You guys may have a different one. Now, let me say something else. Guys, I will quickly have to check my son, as I said. Hold on. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Everything's falling apart. Oh my god. No, everything's fine. Everything is fine. I'm just trying to find where my music is coming from. I had it somewhere. Can't find my music. Hold on. Oh, it's here. Why is it suddenly? Okay. It's all a bit messy. We're a professional stream, ladies and gentlemen. This is a professional stream, and if you can't acknowledge that, it's your fault. Now, I will quickly check my son. But while I do this, I have prepared something for you guys because I knew this would happen. So I have a little really interesting interview. It's not an interview. It's like a few minutes of a clip with someone called Terence McKenna. Now, Terence McKenna seems to be, and this is footage from the 80s, I'm guessing mid-80s, something like this. The man is unfortunately not alive anymore. He passed away in 2000. He was... I mean, the guy in the interview calls him a shaman, but like a researcher, and clearly a very educated man who studied language, but also experimented with, you know, the mind and the doors of consciousness. Okay, to quote Aldous Huxley there. So I'm gonna play this for you guys. You can listen to him because he's making a really good point. And keep in mind, this freaking interview is 40 years old. Okay. 40 years ago, this dude had these insights, and I'm not gonna lie, I have the greatest respect for that. That's quite remarkable that he figured that out then. Enjoy this. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a pleasure to have you here with me also. You know, the UFO phenomenon is striking because it's so bizarre. It seems as if the reports that come in about UFOs defy any attempt whatsoever to categorize them. I guess from my point of view, I can only assume that there are probably many different interpretations of this event. I think, given your background as a student of shamanism and altered states of consciousness and alternative realities, you have some unique perspectives on the UFO phenomenon. I wonder if we could get into that material.
Yes, well, the ordinary approach to the UFOs has been to view them as visitors or intruders from a nearby star system that have come in metal ships for reasons of trade or scientific investigation or military conquest.
Or missionary activity.
Or missionary activity to the vicinity of our planet. And this was a myth that sprang up concomitant with the modern wave of sightings that began shortly after World War II. As time has passed and the number of sightings have gone from hundreds to thousands to hundreds of thousands of instances, as the myth has fleshed itself out with sub-themes, the theme of abduction, the theme of telepathic contact, it's become much more difficult to fit all the known facts into the simple model of spacefaring visitors from another world. So what we are left with then are a number of more exotic competing theories in the so-called postmodern phase of thinking about the UFO. Probably the best known of these alternative explanations was the one pioneered by the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, who in 1953 wrote a book called Flying Saucers, A Modern Myth of Things Seen in the Sky. And Jung was at great pains to, without passing judgment on the reality of the saucers, of the things seen, to interpret them psychologically, to interpret them as one would interpret a dream. And he saw in their circular form, in their scintillating, shining, alchemical brilliance, a symbol of human wholeness, and felt that they were a symbol of our collective yearning for a kind of totality and individuation. Now, in a way, this kind of explanation is very satisfying. However, it is not satisfying to the person who has immediately undergone a very strange and a very real-seeming experience.
Unless such a person were told great messages of hope for the planet.
Well, and this is a persistent part of the flying saucer phenomenon, that people who have close contact with the saucers return with messages of universal brotherhood and benevolence, with stories of a beneficent hegemony of organized intelligence where wiser, older worlds and civilizations help younger and less mature worlds toward a kind of galactic citizenship. However,
that's just one thread of the evidence.
It's one thread of the evidence, and it isn't really well supported by the evidence.
Thank you. Exactly.
Jacques Vallée, who is one of the foremost commentators on the phenomenon, has been at great pains to point out that with the flying saucer phenomenon, we're dealing...
This guy is George Knapp's long-lost son. Can actually see it, god damn it. Now I can't unsee it.
Thousands and thousands of incidents per year throughout the world. It's very hard, with even at our own primitive level of scientific sophistication, we can learn a great deal about a planet by sending a single probe to that planet. What kind of scientific program of investigation requires thousands and thousands of appearances? And if we make the assumption that not all appearances are observed, but that in fact only a small number are observed, then the number of appearances that must actually be going on soars toward an astronomical number.
I love this. I love what he's saying there, right? So I love his fucking skeptical takes so much, from like, whatever the fuck this is, like my year of birth, probably 1982 or 1984 or something. That's how this looks. So bro, like, he's nailing it. He's nailing it. I love what he said there in the end, right? The idea, like, because already at that time, you gotta keep in mind, in the context of the 80s, Bob Lazar, you know, that was like almost like a UFO hype wave. At that time, it was a big thing. You see UFOs. I don't remember when the Belgium UFO wave was. I think that was in the 90s. But it was in that time frame. And he says it as well. There are thousands of sightings that are people reporting. And it's like, these aliens, what they come here, they traverse space and time, thousands of them, and like he says, that's just the ones that we observe, right? There would be probably hundreds of thousands more that we don't observe, going by that statistic. So it simply makes no sense, right? The whole thing freaking falls apart. So I love it. I love the whole segment. So I wanted to play this for you guys. All right, I'm gonna carefully try to play music now, and I hope it's not super loud. Okay, brace yourselves. Are you ready? I'm gonna turn it down here as well. Okay, this is fine. We're doing all right. I'm turning it down. I'm carefully working my way up. Okay. We're good. Okay. Let me read some chat. I'm not giving enough attention to chat tonight, okay? And then we'll talk about the whole Wilcock drama. Nick P says, Terrence's brother Dennis is still around preaching the virtues of psychedelics. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, he is one of these people who preach that kind of angle. Matt Huey says, that's a good one. I see it too. He's making me sleepy. Yeah, he does have an ASMR thing going on, this guy. He gave me an ASMR vibe earlier. Miguel.com says, I got really stoned with his industrial chemist brother Dennis McKenna one time. Cool guy. You did? Very cool, dude. Cheers, man. Look, 360 degrees. It's becoming a full circle. Complete nonsense. Cheers. Cheers, Jack Covington. I love you too. Everyone else, I'm glad you're all here. It is Saturday night. You're all wonderful people. You're the elite. You found this stream. It is the best place to be. People tell me, how do you do it, Monkey? I don't know. What do I do? But here we are. I'm glad you're here. Cheers. I love you guys. Hipster music, says Ollie G. Is it? I'm not sure, bro. Boardskin screams my ears. I don't believe you, bro. I can see the audio levels. You're exaggerating. Look, man, it's like 90s New York beats. If that's hipster music for you, then yeah, sure, cool. That's fine. Then that's hipster music. The Benjamin says, UFO and paranormal. Does the paranormal exist? Not for me, bro. I don't think so. But then again, I've never seen anything, and I had people call into the show even and tell me incredible stories, so... Cheers, Monkey. Says Marijuana Nirvana. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Pato Kev says, I'm here for the karaoke, Monkey. Well, we had karaoke on Thursday stream, yeah, as an option for Midweek Madness for the stretch goal. We didn't reach it. And I thought about this because it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit that we didn't reach the super chat level. And I think it was because I threatened to do karaoke. And I think you're one of the very few people who likes the karaoke, and the vast majority just not the biggest fan of me doing karaoke. So it's not gonna happen. There are wallabies living wild in the UK. Well, I've seen some of them. I went to the Whipsnade Zoo, which is a big zoo in the north of London. And they have wallabies kind of hopping around, kind of openly. They're friendly, they're cute, and they hop away when you get close. Dan Peters falling asleep. Oh no, Dan Peters. Well, to be honest with you, a lot of people say this. They tell me they fall asleep to the show. They love to put it on in the background. And that's fair. I love that. As long as you smash the like button, which everyone should do right now. That's right, smash the like button as we're moving into the next segment, which is David Wilcock, Gaia TV, and the Corey Good drama, right? And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh God, not David Wilcock. I can't stand that guy. That's the usual reaction I get when I say that I talk about Wilcock. But we're not going to look at Wilcock clips necessarily. We're going to talk about it in general. So I already kind of showed it earlier. Gaia TV is like this esoteric new age TV Netflix thing, right? Loads of self-produced shows. Like a pay-to-view TV station for esoteric new age UFO, ghost spiritualism, that kind of shit. Like, you know, you want to believe that rocks help you. You put some rocks on your chest, they help you get better with your cold, then watch Gaia TV. Okay, like that would be my interpretation of what I've seen of that. And of course I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. So it's an esoteric TV station, and Wilcock had a big show on there, right? Because obviously Gaia TV is not exactly, oh, let's attract all these very famous people from the spiritual world. They're gonna get a hard time. They're gonna have a hard time getting celebrities on board, right? So David Wilcock was on board. I don't know if he was on board from the beginning when Gaia started. I don't know when they launched, but I think from fairly early on he was on board with, like, as a big name, right? We're Gaia TV. Here we have David Wilcock. He's the poster child of that TV station, and that makes a lot of sense for them, right? He had a big show, like a large show on there. It was called Cosmic Disclosure, okay, which makes a lot of sense. And another show we saw earlier. Which one was it? Let me bring it up again. It was called Wisdom Teachings. It's apparently on Gaia as well. Here he is. And I promise to you that I did not increase the size of his forehead on this picture. That's just how he looks. Giovanni with the 5. Monkey. Wrong. Uh-oh. I'm getting corrected by Giovanni. I'm sorry. I'm sitting straight. What have I done? You failed to reach your super chat goals because I fell asleep mid-stream and woke up 5 hours later. Apologies. Won't have it again. Oh, man, that's true. But you see, that also means you guys are not sending enough super chats. It's all down to Giovanni. You guys have to show more love to the stream. Look, I don't want to beg and all that, but I also don't want to have it all on Giovanni's back. You guys just send a little bit more love. We're doing the show every week, twice. But I love you guys anyway, okay? Anyway, this is the begging segment. But anyway, so he had another show that was called Wisdom Teachings. Apparently season 1. I don't know how many seasons there were. Let me see. This is actually on IMDb, so we can actually look it up. How many seasons there were of Wisdom Teachings on Gaia TV. It's got beautiful David Wilcock there in the headshot. 30 seasons. There are 30 seasons of Wisdom Teachings. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. I would have thought 1 or 2 seasons and it got cancelled, but no. Holy shit. And each episode, each season, look, this is season 23. How many episodes? 12 episodes. Holy shit, 2016. What are they about? What did he do? Is he just sitting there? Is this like his live stream, basically? What is this? I need to see an episode of Wisdom Teachings. Oh, wow. So many live chats, live super chats. You guys are amazing. Let me read them one by one. Hector M with the 4.99. Thank you so much. Don't laugh. I fell for spirit signs as a teen. That's not shameful. Maybe you were stoned. That helps. So... a lot of us, I think a lot of people watching this channel fell for it at some point, either believed hardcore in UFOs or ghosts or the paranormal or spirits. And at some point you see enough of it and you're like, wait, this is bullshit. All of this is bullshit. All of it. And then it unfortunately ruins itself. You can't watch it anymore. I can't watch it anymore. I've tried to watch some ghost adventures the other day while I was stoned, and even then it didn't work. So it changes, bruh. Then we have the 10 pounds by Rusty BH. Dude, legend. Okay, Rusty BH. Thank you, my man. Smashing like on all these super chats. You guys are legends. Thank you for keeping the chat alive and keeping the lights on the studio. Lights on in the studio. Mickey with the 50 Swedish crowns. Thank you. No message from Rusty, but Mickey says, I love Wilcock clips, especially Stavati. Stavati feels like a weird comedy project, like The Office or Borat or something. That is so true. You're right, Mickey. You're making such a good point. It does feel like a parody project, like not a real company. You know what I mean? Something they made up, which they kind of did. It's actually not wrong, but they try to at least look like a serious aerospace company or whatever. Giovanni with another 5. Thank you so much. Don't tell me Wilcock blew all the royalties from all of those series. What the fuck? Right? So, this is a good point. Let me read Koipu's super chat and then we get into this. So, Koipu with a 5 as well. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it, Cork, man. Ongoing supporter of the show, yeah. I love you, bro. I see you. Stavati Aerospace only hired Wilcock to use his forehead as a landing strip. Goddamn, dude. We already had Wilcock renting out his forehead as a drive-in cinema. We had that one. I really enjoyed that one. I'll never forget it. It's so fucking funny. And now here you come with it as the Stavati landing strip. As the Stavati landing strip extension. They need the extra mile. Here's Wilcock's forehead. Well done, Koi-Poo Man. I love it. But I want to go back to Giovanni saying he blew all the royalties, right? Because here's the thing, right? That's exactly what I mean. Bro produced like 200 seasons. I'm exaggerating, but like more than 30 seasons of this show. Whatever the fuck this show is, but he produced like 30 seasons of this show. Dude, you get paid per season. He got paid for every season. He was also in like hundreds of episodes of The Ancient Aliens that he obviously got paid for as well. He has speaking engagements. David Wilcock is a no name in this. You know, if he speaks at some kind of convention at the, I don't know, the Los Alamos, Las Vegas UFO convention, then people come and people buy tickets to see David Wilcock. So you're exactly right, Giovanni, to say, how come he blew all this money? He had all this money. And that's my theory, at least, and I'm relying on sources that kind of research Stavati, right? Because there's people like, what is he called? I'm trying to find his name real quick. Spadavecchio or something is his name. There it is. John Christian Spadavecchio. Okay, I want to give him the credit because he deserves it. And he's like researching Stavati. He's like gonna write a book about Stavati. And in his tweets and some of the other tweets of people, they're basically saying this is the Stavati Wilcock connection, right? Wilcock had a lot of money. A substantial amount of money, whatever a lot means, right? But like a substantial amount of money from all the shows, the episodes, everything we just looked at, right? The Gaia deals. Ancient Aliens. And then someone from Stavati got him to invest, and he didn't do his homework. And I assume, again, this is me speculating, right? This is me basing this on posts by John Christian Spadavecchia, who is researching this case, and other people on Twitter. Wilcock pumped a lot of money into Stavati. He believed this is going to be a great deal for him. This is an up-and-coming aerospace company, you know, like they're going to make planes. Maybe they can land the next deal with the US military because they're competitive. They probably had like nice PowerPoint presentations ready for Wilcock, and he came in and they showed him the hangar, right? The famous Stavati hangar. They're like, oh, look, this is our hangar. We're working right now. The prototype is not here, but we're going to work on a prototype soon. The offices are upstairs, so they take him right to the offices. They make sure everything where he walks, everything is nice and neat and tidy. And then they sell him this deal, and they sell Wilcock the idea that this is going to be a huge investment. The more you put in, the more you get out. Look, Boeing, how much is Boeing worth now? $696 trillion. I'm exaggerating, but a lot. And I think Wilcock fell for it. Wilcock fell for it and pumped a substantial amount of money into Stavati. And that's why Wilcock is now so on top of Stavati. That's why Wilcock basically gives Chris Beskar, the CEO of Stavati, his studio and his equipment, and produces a video with him that we all watched, right, on YouTube, where they're selling us their new aircraft and pitch the whole project to us. You know, he's deeply involved in Stavati. I mean, obviously, he is on the roster, right? He is part, what is he, like the director of technical development or some technological development or something crazy? That's like the role of Wilcock in Stavati, the official title. But I think that's what it is. And Wilcock keeps reiterating how that he has no money, that he's running out of money, that it's horrible, that everything is bad. He keeps saying this. He keeps mentioning they have some kind of deal to make money, but it's not coming in with Stavati, and for some reason it never really happens. So where did the money go? I think most of it went into Stavati. And then he owed money to the governments as well with taxes, right? He mentioned this himself. And now he's trying to recover this money. Now he's trying to make Stavati into something that somehow returns money with this weird investment. The more you put in, the more she yells out. God damn it, Crow Friend. Why did I even read this out? Stavati sounds like a cheap Italian wine. That is true, and that's how it feels as well. Wilcock actually believes the grift? I don't think so, Benjamins. No, I don't think so, dude. Wilcock has been in this grift for a long time. In my video that I've done about Wilcock a while back, I visited Ascension 2000 in the Wayback Machine, right? I can show you guys this. Maybe you haven't seen this. So if you go to the Wayback Machine, it's like an archive of the internet, right? And if you go here and you type in Ascension, I think it was, how do you write Ascension? Oh, this is embarrassing. Ascension, like this. Ascension, like this. Okay, fine. I think it was written like this. So ascension2000.com. Let's see. The Wayback Machine is looking. There it is. Okay, it finds it. It finds something. Because this website has been deleted, and this is an old website of David Wilcock. Sorry, I've got something in my throat. It's really annoying. I hope this helps. Now, hold on. Ascension 2000, because I want to go all the way back to the year literally 2000. Here's a backup from March 11th, 2000, 5:40 a.m. Let's take a look at this. Oh, here we have Ascension 2000. Welcome to the old version of the internet. This is a website that David Wilcock hosted or ran around that time. Obviously long deleted because it claims things like soon all human beings can fly. I'm not joking. That's what this website claims. And there are a few other things that it claims that are somewhat out there, one could claim. But here it is, Ascension 2000, dedicated to the spontaneous evolution of the human species, now reaching its final threshold. Who is David Wilcock, right? Let's bring that one up. I'm curious. Obviously, keep in mind, this is in the year 2000, so here he is, right? And he... are we going to read this whole thing? I feel like I don't want to read this whole thing. This is a bad idea. Hold on. What am I doing to myself? This is like old internet, so the text is not really formatted, so you can't really read it. David Wilcock's interest in metaphysical topics goes back almost to the time of his birth. That's the first line. When he was born, he already wanted to do metaphysical stuff. Ever since age 2, Wilcock remembers having dreams of massive metallic cylinders floating in the sky. Massive... What? Wait. Metallic cylinders? That's a bit odd. Along with bizarre psychic synchronicities during the day. At age 5, David Wilcock had a spontaneous out-of-body experience that greatly crystallized his quest for the truth behind the question of ESP, metaphysics, and consciousness. At age 7, Wilcock read his first full-length adult paper book about ESP entitled How to Make ESP Work for You by Harold Sherman. What is ESP again? Can someone... I need that in chat. What is ESP referring to? I don't get it. I'm an idiot. Maybe it's just the wine. Don't blame me. He conducted successful telepathic experiments with his friends and demonstrated repeated psychic accuracy while still in 2nd grade. Okay. So there you go. So that's David Wilcock. That's Ascension 2000. It's amazing. The last news has been posted in this particular version in 99. David appeared on the Lara Lee show in 99. Audio section, you can listen to it there. So, you know, David has been doing this for a long time. Mr. Wilcock has been really... He's quoting Led Zeppelin here, bro. Keep your daughters away from this man, says Crow Friend. Extra stupid perception, says Enrico. The Benjamin says, I was first, but third. Finlay Brewer says, have you heard? Apparently there's a galactic war going on. Oh, yeah? I'm curious. Please tell me more about this. I must have missed that. Dash says, wow, you expected that a young Wilcock had less forehead. I know. Well, this is the time when he claimed to be the reincarnation of... What did he claim again? Wilcock reincarnation of Edgar Casey, right? Who's like this clairvoyant guy. I spoke about this previously already, but like... Let me bring up a picture. Because Wilcock claims that he really looks like Edgar Casey and that he used to claim this. This is the kind of stuff that you find on the Ascension 2000 website, and anyone can go. The beauty of this website is there's a lot on it. There's a lot to it. So let me see. Where do I navigate here? Let me close this up here. Is there like a menu? No, there's no menu. So look at this down here. For example, you see all these entries. The autumn season of humanity, moon expedition dream, the time to awaken is now. Let's read this one then maybe. And you see these ones are like huge walls of text, dude. Huge walls of text you can read. And in some of them he claims humans will soon ascend and learn to fly, and humans, all kinds of insane stuff, to be honest with you. And that's why he deleted it, right? Because it wouldn't really work these days anymore. Now he claims different stuff and just streams on YouTube. So, you know, it's always linked to religion as well. But go check out Ascension 2000, okay? But here's Edgar Casey. It's a picture of Edgar Casey that David Wilcock claims looks pretty much exactly like him. Okay, here he is. That's right. I mean, dude, the same face, identical. Edgar Casey. Oh, here he is. Okay, he looks a little bit like it, but this seems AI enhanced or something. But not even that doesn't really look like David Wilcock. It just looks like a different person. I guess that's the original picture. So, the forehead though, that's true. The hairline, something about the eyes. But this is actually true. Wilcock at some point claimed that he is the reincarnation of this guy, this clairvoyant guy. So, I'm not even joking. It's true. Tiny forehead though. True, the forehead is not small. It's not huge as Wilcock's, but it's also fairly big because the hairline is so far back. Similar eyes, right? So is he Edgar Casey reincarnated? I wish I could bring him on right now and ask him personally, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Anyway, let's talk about this Gaia thing. So now you know who David Wilcock really is, building up this empire of new age nonsense over decades, right? Almost for 20 years. You can see he had websites, Ascension 2000, and he's been doing this for a very, very long time. I remember in the early 2000s, maybe 2005 or something, me very stoned exploring YouTube, the early days of YouTube, looking for documentaries and conspiracy documentaries, and that's when I stumbled across some Wilcock stuff as well. He was giving lectures, you know, like everyone would, right? Like next to the David Icke lecture, you would find the David Wilcock lecture. So I checked it out a little bit. It was strange. It wasn't what I wanted. I wanted UFO and ghost stuff, and he was suddenly talking about consciousness. I didn't give much of a fuck. But that's what he is. So he was a big deal then. He got signed on Gaia TV, had this show, Cosmic Disclosure, had this other show, that name I already forgot. Oh yeah, Wisdom Teachings. So he had these shows on there. During these shows, he interviewed a person called Corey Goode. Corey Goode and him, from what I could tell, somewhat become friends. And of course, I don't want to second guess this here. Maybe they weren't friends, but they grew somewhat close. Corey Goode would be in other episodes, and Corey Goode became part of this David Wilcock universe to an extent, at least on Gaia, right? If you don't know who Corey Goode is, I have a quick video that I found earlier, and it is like so ridiculous, just the first 2 minutes, that I want to share it with you guys, so you can check this out. So here is Corey Goode, and to be honest, I didn't even know him, right? I had never seen this person in my life, but here he is giving some kind of lecture in front of a somewhat sold out room, right? This is like not a big room, but it is
for 4 years. I've worked with
busy.
David Wilcock,
there you go.
And,
he just mentioned Wilcock.
In the past, it's a little over 4 years, I've worked with David Wilcock, and it's been an amazing journey. Last year, many of you know, David was given major warnings to back off from the secret space program narrative, and he could have very easily have done so, you know, under serious threat. But instead, he was loyal to the truth and kept integrity. And he's suffered from it. So.
Damn, bro, he's gurgling that Wilcock dick. He's not just sucking it, he's gurgling it. He's like taking it in deep. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing right now. It's like, I worked with Wilcock, it was great. He almost enlightened me. We always got there together. We tried to get there to that point of enlightenment together, to this high point. We couldn't really get there, but we tried. Rest assured, we tried.
But him and Beth have really held up and been really strong.
Look at this. Look how many people are here. Look how many people are here that take this serious, that made an effort to come there. What does it say? The Cosmic Waves 2019. Okay, so I guess it's part of like a bigger event, right? I have to assume that Cosmic Waves is like some kind of convention with many talks. But dude, the room is full. There's one empty chair there, but bro.
And are really showing that they have integrity for the truth and are not being blown by the winds like many are these days. I just thought that should be acknowledged.
The Wilcock addiction is strong, says Nifty Skates. Dude, I said it in the previous stream, I can't deny it. I have like a weird fascination with David Wilcock and Stavati and this whole thing. It's like a fucking soap opera, man. I'm following it. This is my soap opera. Okay, I love it. I find it fascinating. And obviously Corey Goode is part of this universe as well, to an extent, right? Because they're in this lawsuit together. Corey Goode, the guy you see here, and David Wilcock are currently in a lawsuit. And it went in front of court like, I think 2 days ago or 3 days ago. So we're going to talk about this. I just want to play this for like a minute more, because there's really like some moments where you're just like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm going to sit down so I don't block the screen. How many people have watched Cosmic Disclosure?
Damn, son, damn! Bro, everyone's raising their arm, man. Everyone's seen Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia TV. Everyone in the room is like, yep, we got the briefing. We're on board. Feeling the energy. And this is the beauty of this, right? Because look, almost everyone's putting their hand up. That means that the people who subscribe to a platform like Gaia are exactly the people who come to the Cosmic Wave Festival. It's like a bubble. If you know 5, 6, 7 of them, at some point soon you will know all of them. Do you know what I mean? It's all like, it's a family. Look how many people watched his weird little thing, Cosmic Disclosure, with David Wilcock, obviously, on Gaia.
A majority. Strong majority.
Strong majority.
So I pretty much told my entire life story on that show. I talked about being an ET contactee at an early age, not exactly knowing what was going on, being brought into the military abduction programs.
I love all this. I love everything he just said. I love this so much. Because he's like, yeah, you know, I'm an abductee. As if it's the most normal thing. Like as if you need to provide no evidence for a claim like this. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, you know, a young kid abductee, and then early on I was brought into the, you know, the UFO program.
What was going on? Being brought into the military abduction programs.
The military abduction programs. I was brought into those at a very young age. It really made a man out of me. I was part of those programs. And it's like, nobody's like, could you elaborate on the military abduction programs, maybe with some evidence or something that... No, everyone's like, oh, yeah, the military abduction programs. Yeah, those. Good point. I'm applauding already for your next point.
And then being an SSP insider. I first started coming out on blogs, releasing the information I knew. For probably over a year, I had put a lot of my information in a blog, and that was some of the first information I handed over to David when we first started talking, and he started going through it and was amazed. And
he's going through it, he's like, dude, this level of bullshit is insane. We should work together. The shit you have in your shit is wild, and the shit I have in my shit is wild too. We can make super wild shit. Yes. So they partnered up, okay?
While I was delivering the information on a covert sort of way through...
And here's what I think, like, I don't want to bore you too much. I just wanted to give you a brief introduction of this Corey Goode guy. But like when I watch something like this, a segment of him talking about all this, at a convention like this, right? Like, keep in mind, like, they organize an event. Like, organizing an event is like a lot of work. You make money of it, obviously. To be honest, with events, often you don't make that much money. You take entrance tickets and prices, unless it's like, I don't know, the fucking new Oasis concert where the frontline tickets cost $5,000, then you make money. But for these kinds of conventions, it's not that they make like crazy, ruthless amounts of money, because they also have to pay Corey Good to talk at it. But yeah, so anyway, they became friends. They did shows together. Wilcock interviewed Corey Good as part of this show that they had, this Cosmic Disclosure show. They worked on this together. Part of Corey Good's kind of history is that he claims to be part of a secret space program. Okay, he also mentioned that he, or at least he put that on his slide in the beginning, that he's a starseed child. Right? You guys are familiar with this starseed? You know, these kids that are like just super talented. That is something, dude, that fucks me up, man. These starseed children, that fucks me up, dude. I swear to God. I'll talk about that now. D-Bone Switch, again with the 5 US. Thank you so much for the support, brother. As I said earlier, this is a ad-free show. No ads on the show. So I make no money from ads. So I appreciate every single super chats, because that's literally the only money I'm making from this. And he says Jason Sands is the new David Wilcock and Corey Good. 20 and back bullshit. I can't believe James Fox had him in his documentary. Embarrassing. I have to look this up. Jason Sands. I heard the name before, but I don't have it in front of my face. People pay to be there. I need to get into grifting, says Marijuana Nirvana. So thank you for the $1.99 there, by the way. Thank you so much for that comment. That's the thing, right? And exactly this thought that you just had, probably somewhat ironically, right? Like, I should start grifting. Some people have this, they really have this thought. They see these conventions, they see people selling loads of little healing pyramids and, you know, hats that shield off the radiation from, I don't know, the cell phone towers. And they're all making fuck tons of money with that shit. So they're like, I'm going to get into that grift, you know. It's a valid business option. It's a thing you can put forward and make money from. But anyway, so here is Corey Good saying that he's an early child ET contactee. He's a My Lab survivor. He's an SSP insider. The Earth Alliance contact. Okay, so this tells me that he is... It's just like... As I'm saying this, I feel so dumb, bro. I feel so stupid saying this. So I have to assume that when he says and lists on his CV that he's an Earth Alliance contact, that is some kind of confederation, universal confederation, and he is like, he sees himself as like a representative, almost like a diplomatic person in that Earth Alliance Star Trek thing. Dude, man, it's wild. These people are wild. Here we have Rusty BH with another 10. I appreciate it so much, Rusty. Keeping the show going, my man. And he's saying, I'm starting a NHI cult. I'm sure if I said the thing is you can see them. I'm sure if I said the thing is you can see them unless you believe, have too much money, and have a major self-esteem problems and want to be special and different, I'm on a winner. That's right. You just have to see, like, oh, you can't, I can see the UFO. You can't see the UFO. That's because you don't believe enough. If you really believe, you can, I can see it right now. It's right there. It's the hook thing, isn't it? You can't see the food, then the food is there. You just really have to believe in it. Then it's there. And it becomes real. It manifests itself. Well, the dream then shortly thereafter ended. Thank you so much, Rusty, obviously, for the 10. Because in 2018, David Wilcock resigned from Gaia. Okay, so he ended his deal that he had with Gaia. I don't know if the contract ran out. Probably it did. And he just ended this relationship. And this was amid internal disputes. Okay, that's what you find. He then later kind of came out, Wilcock, and apologized. And he blamed the whole thing on a falling out that he had with Corey Good. Okay, so now the finger pointing starts. So now Wilcock is like Corey Good this, and probably Corey Good pointed the finger at him as well, because then Corey Good shortly thereafter filed a RICO-style lawsuit against Gaia. That was in 2020. Accusing them of cyberstalking, of defamation, and of misuse of IP. So maybe he still had some rights to some of the shows that he was involved in. He also accused them of mishandling of brand, right? So this is where it really goes pear-shaped. Now Corey Good is suing Gaia, right? He is putting that out there and trying to get them sued and trying to get some money out of this. And it becomes like an internal grift, right? Where now the previous content creators on Gaia start to sue the company itself. Not great. Not great for Gaia or anyone involved. Smash like, by the way, if you're here, you're enjoying the content. Smash like. Just putting that out there. It's a little move. Makes a big difference. Cheers. Happy Saturday night. So then, following that lawsuit, Gaia removed all the episodes that contained Corey Good. They just removed them. They didn't want to have it on there. And they also distanced themselves in a statement, kind of saying they want to distance themselves from these highly speculative narratives. Okay, so then it really, like, there was trouble in paradise. It wasn't looking good. Giovanni with the 5 says, in the galactic war occurring around us, which we obviously can't see, that's right, the Earth Alliance are allegedly the good guys and the Grace Lizard people the bad. Wait a second. What about Lizard People Records? They are the good guys, right? Lizard People Records. You're not familiar with them? You might say, what? What's Lizard People Records? Well, you Google them, then you filter for channel. It's the little secret thing you have to do. It's like a secret handshake. And you find the channel, Lizard People Records. What? Well, if you're into house music and dancing, look, I uploaded this not long ago. That's right. If you want to see me DJing, you want to get into the vibe, spend Saturday night with some friends, put that on in the background, get drunk, know what I'm saying? Get the vibes out there. Minimal house and all that. Lizard People, we're the good people. Subscribe to Lizard People Records. That's what I'm saying, okay? It's the best YouTube channel for solid underground house music. And they've got very good looking DJs. I'm one of them, so get the vibes in there, okay? Feel it. Feel it. Know what I'm saying? Subscribe to Lizard People Records. Subscribe to Lizard People Records on YouTube. Nobody has ever regretted it. They have very good looking DJs, so subscribe. Subscribe now. Subscribe. Anyway, that's Lizard People Records, so that's actually misinformation that Giovanni's posting. The Lizard People are good people like me. Lizard People Records, but you know, I see your point. The goods are the grays and Lizard People are the bad. Okay, I wish it would be so easy. It's much more complicated, Giovanni. Come on, man, you know it. You know it. Dash says groovy. That's exactly right. Dash gets it. It's the vibes, man. It's the groove. It's the funk. Okay, it's all about that funk. It's what we're doing. It's how we roll. Anyway, coming back to the story. So then Wilcock kind of got caught between the front lines, right? Because it was mostly between Corey Good at this point and Gaia, and they were suing each other, but Corey Good was so intertwined with Wilcock that he got drawn into it, that he got pulled into it, and that's why he had to appear in front of court a few days ago. Gaia, Wilcock, and Good are kind of embroiled in legal and reputational battles at the moment, right? There's a lot going on. I think at this point Gaia has sued them as well, and there are literally like legal hearings in front of court about it that Wilcock had to attend as well. Gaia now accuses Corey Good of defamation and misuse, while Good claims mistreatment back. So it's a huge clusterfuck. This whole situation is just a huge clusterfuck. Wilcock, in the meantime, has distanced himself from it, and you can see that on his streams as well. He, as far as I can tell from the clips, he rarely talks about Corey Good, if at all. He rarely talks about Gaia or any of that. He completely stays out of it. But yeah, so Wilcock has pulled himself out. Corey Good still claims that Gaia promoted imposters, repeating his narrative, right? So he claims to have some kind of ownership over this secret space program narrative that he was telling. And he's trying to capitalize on that. So he's trying to sue Gaia or like, you know, get a hold of them and say, look, bro, here's this guy on your show, and he claims the same thing I claimed. I have a copyright on that claim. Now I want... So it's a real mess. It's a serious mess. Now, the former head of production at Gaia was interviewed recently, right? And he made a few interesting remarks. Because obviously this is the big Gaia story. You have to understand, this is at least my feeling about Gaia. There's not a lot going on at Gaia. But what is going on is that this drama is happening, and that Corey Goode and that David Wilcock are in the public eye, and they pull Gaia into the public eye. So this is a big story for Gaia as well, for this streaming platform, which presumably, to be honest with you, a lot of people are cutting their streaming services, right? Lots of people are cutting like Disney Plus and Prime or whatever. They don't really watch it, cut it. So I have a feeling that Gaia is somewhat having a hard time. I might be wrong, right? But that's my feeling. But here is this report from Gaia, basically, where they're interviewing, or it might not have run on Gaia, but who they're interviewing is the head of production of Gaia, okay, and what he had to say about working with David Wilcock and Corey Goode. Let's have a listen.
On how you would identify potentially someone like these two men creating cults and getting people involved, and what are the signs that you're seeing? You know, well,
So a tricky question there already, right? She's coming in asking him for signs that he saw of cults, because that is an accusation, right? That people like Corey Goode, that people like David Wilcock with their new age stuff, with their, you know, spiritual enlightenment. This is cult stuff, right? They are the cult leader, and they want to kind of aggregate a cult around them. These are accusations that you see regularly. She's not the only one making these accusations. A lot of people are, that there are cult-like structures within the fandom of platforms like David Wilcock, because it's so connected to spirituality and astrology and all these kinds of things, right? So she's making a fair point here.
And what are the signs that you're seeing? You know, well, can you name a few?
I learned a lot about cults through this. If you actually watch the last 20 minutes of Cosmic Secret, their last movie, basically they're laying out how they're making their cult. Each David, then Corey, then David, then Corey, and they're just laying out how you do it. They're laying it completely out, how you create people to believe in it, how then you create boundaries around it, how you then create enemies lists, the whole thing, right?
Damn, so he's basically saying, and again, keep in mind, this is the former head of production of Gaia, right? So the dude was really behind the scenes. He knows the company. He probably met and knows Corey Goode and David Wilcock, both of them. And he talks about the final episode or documentary or whatever they produced, where they had that segment where they basically lay out how they are building this cult around themselves, around their personality. Combining it at the time, right? Because they were still seeing themselves as kind of a tag team thing. Here's Corey Goode, here's David Wilcock, here's Corey Goode, we're building this thing together. They probably had these plans, right? I can only speculate, right? I don't know this, but I could absolutely imagine that someone like David Wilcock, who in the past has implied that he's also maybe the reincarnation of Jesus, I'm not joking, he has implied this in the past, would potentially build a cult that leads into an actual cult, right? Not just like some kind of online following subscriber cult, but an actual, you know, like a Jonestown thing. Not saying that how it ended necessarily, that's not what I'm claiming, but like a place where they live together and he's the leader and everyone looks up to Corey Goode and David Wilcock. They are the brains, they are the leading, the intellectual leaders of this movement, right? They are sitting on the throne. And I mean, looking at David Wilcock, and personally, from what I read, when I look at his live streams and him as being his person, like I can totally see narcissistic traits in him, right? He's in my opinion, a heavily narcissistic person that has absolutely, when they reach a certain level of money and power, has tendencies to fall into this cult-like territory. where he's the guy. If you look how he's streaming, as you look how he talks about his subscribers, I am convinced personally that David Wilcock is someone who thinks that he is much better than many other people. He's special. He is some kind of enlightened, special creature, right? That is very different. If you take 10 million people, you maybe have one like David Wilcock in there. Maybe. That's what he thinks. That's how special he is and unique in his thinking. He's convinced of that. At least he was. I don't know now. Now when you look his live streams, he seems somewhat resigned and bitter. So I'm not sure he still believes it. In there, I mean, his wife left him as well, right? Like, it's all kinds of things. So who knows what's really going on in his head at this point in time, but that's where he came from. He made these claims. And here is this former head of production saying that in this final episode of the show they were doing, they're laying out how they're going to plan their cult and how that's going to manifest.
Believe in it, how then you create boundaries around it, how you then create enemies lists, the whole thing, right? And
an enemies list, though. You know, most people don't want enemies. You know, not everyone can like us. We're not all pizza, but
I'm probably at the top.
I have to say, don't put this "we're not all pizza" line in there. You think that's clever? I don't appreciate that. I'm sorry. No, we're not everyone likes us. We're not all pizza. It's not something you say. Don't say that, please, ever again.
Can like us. We're not all pizza, but
I'm probably at the top of the list, I would say.
Right now, but before you weren't. Yeah.
But anyone who didn't believe Corey became an enemy.
Right. Anyone who didn't believe Corey became an enemy. He describes how they were basically at that time. Because here's what you have to understand, I think, right? Again, this is a lot of me interpreting. At that time, when they were doing these Gaia shows, when they were streaming on Gaia, and they were producing 30 fucking seasons of some weird show, they probably felt like too big to fail because they're also the celebrities of Gaia, right? They're the face of Gaia. They're like, without us, this show shuts down. Gaia as a whole. Like, we are pulling the horses. They're on the top of their careers. They're making a lot of money at that time. Wilcock probably just coming out of his little ancient alien speaking engagements. He's just made a fuck ton of money. So now he's pulling the Gaia string, right? So they're riding the gravy train, okay? And they're having a great time doing it. So these are the moments where you make money, you're successful, everyone eats out of your hand, wherever you go, the rooms are filled, you get the attention. These are the moments where you get these visions of grandeur, right? Where you get these ideas that you're more important, you're a more powerful and insightful human being than all these other people who listen to you. And that's where the cult shit comes in. So when this former head of production says they were basically pretty clearly communicating that they were building towards a cult, then I understand that and I believe that, okay? However, this was pre-pandemic times. This is a long time ago that this happened. So it's not very recent. Since then, a lot has happened, right? It feels like a lot of the spiritual enlightenment, new age community around David Wilcock has somewhat collapsed. But you may remember, not long ago, like about a month ago, something like that, we spoke about a job opening. If you were here, if you're a permanent viewer of the stream, you will remember. Cheers to you. If you remember when I spoke about this on the previous stream. Legend, okay? You're an absolute legend for remembering this. That Stavati had a job opening, right? And at that time, we were making fun of it. We were like, hey, here's Stavati having a job opening. And we were like almost speculating why, like, what is it about? Because they were looking for an aerospace engineer and scientist. And we know they're not building a plane, right? We know that. They don't have the money. Wilcock is laying this open, like in excruciating detail on his live streams. We know exactly how much they're waiting for the funding. They're always close to the deal. They're almost closing the deal. Never really happens. So it was confusing that they're looking for a senior aerospace engineer and scientist for their company. Like, why? And the theory at the time was, and by the way, here's the original tweet that I shared at that time. Again, greatly shared by John Christian Spadavaccia, who's so on top of all this, who's writing the book. He's writing a book about Stavati. So I honestly, I'm not going to buy many books, but a book about Stavati, I might actually buy it because it's like such a fascinating story. But he uncovered this. Here is the post of the job opening. Okay, so Stavati, blah, 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 career senior aerospace engineer scientist, 112 to 220 grand a year, working with Stavati Industries, Niagara Falls, blah, 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 flight test engineers, program managers, and so on. Okay, so they had this job opening, and we were like, is this maybe just them trying to appease investors? So if investors Google Stavati, they're like, oh, look, here's Stavati. They have a job opening right now. This is looking very good. They're looking for senior aerospace engineers. This is a good company. They're growing. They're hiring people. Here's a job opening. Well, here we are a month later, maybe 1.5 months. And they deleted it. They deleted the job opening. They've taken it down. They don't need space engineers anymore, and we had the speculation at that time already that there is no actual job opening. Nobody will actually get hired. This is just them kind of putting out a low effort to basically put themselves out there as a growing company because they're hiring people. Well, John Christian Spedavaccia says, it looks like Stavati has taken down their job posting from April. Oh, it's longer ago. It was in April. I thought it was like a few weeks ago. They were hiring for 2026. Right, I forgot to mention this. The job description was saying you have to start in 2026. Which is so weird as well. It's like, who does this? If I'm looking for a job, I'm not going to say I want to start in 2026. I want to start right now, bro. I want to start tomorrow, okay? Pay me starting from tomorrow, please. But they're like, no, 2026, which is also weirdly in line with the idea that they're trying to secure some funding from some mysterious source, right? Because in 2026, we're going to have the funding for sure. By then, we have secured the funding for sure, okay? So then we can hire people. So let's put that announcement out there. Well, this job has expired, and it's not out there anymore. They've kind of removed it. So what a sad story all this is, right? If you look at it as a whole story about David Wilcock, coming from all the success he had. I mean, sorry, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but he really had a grift going for him, dude. He was really selling the esoteric mind expansion, consciousness, new age shit. He was one of the gurus of that age. He had it all, right? It was a winner. It was a home run. Wilcock had it all. Then, because he's an idiot, made a few mistakes and invested some money into Stavati Aerospace, which is now gone, obviously. Who knows where it exactly went. If you look at the Stavati, board of members, actually, you can see there's a lot of people there that could potentially want some of that money. Imagine David Wilcock's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to put 28 million into this company, which is everything he had and he made with all his lectures. This is the board of Stavati. And they were there before Wilcock, right? They were all invested in this company before Wilcock. And here comes Wilcock, and he's like, yeah, 28 million, whatever, 16 million, however, I'm making these numbers up, but like a big amount of money. What do you think happens if you pump 16, whatever X number, insert number here, $1 million into a company that's made up of the people that you see on screen right now? How long do you think that money will sit in an account that links to the company? Dude, that money will melt faster into the bank accounts of all these people that you see here that were there before David Wilcock. He's here as well, right? There he is, Director of Advanced Technology. But all these people besides him were there before him. And if Wilcock at that time pumped X amount of millions into this company, dude, everyone just got a juicy, nice little lump sum of that. I'm speculating, allegedly, maybe, possibly, okay? But it seems like Stavati is a company that the second money comes in through that fucking door, it It disappears in the swamp, dude. That's also why they are being sued by this other guy, right? Whose name I forgot now, but I covered it in a video. Who put like $1 million into the company. $1 million he put into the company, and then it was signed by a guy who claimed to be someone else in the company, and there were like real questions. So at some point he was like, no, dude, I want my $1 million back. Uh-oh. That's not going to happen. That's another court case. That's in front of court right now. Again, follow people like John Christian Stavati. He's covering this in excruciating detail, all these lawsuits around Wilcock and Stavati. But no, guess what? The money disappears. It's a bit like quicksand. Have you seen stuff disappear in quicksand? Imagine throwing $1 million on quicksand. And it's gone. And it's gone. You know the South Park meme. So, listen. I'm wildly speculating here right now on this stream, obviously. I don't know this. I haven't spoken to anyone from Stavati. I'm following people who look a lot into Stavati on Twitter, and I read up on it. But I'm speculating. I'm making this up. I'm not claiming anything that I say on this stream is a fact. But instead, it's just my interpretation of what's going on here. But when I see structures like the ones that are illustrated here and in these deals that Wilcock and Stavati are making, it feels to me like we're dealing with a company here that is basically like a pit of what is it? Fuck, I said it a minute ago. Trip sand? No, what is it called? Brain. It's been a long show. How long we've been streaming? Almost 3 hours. Quicksand is the word. In my interpretation, basically, this company is like a pit of quicksand, and if you throw stuff into it, it goes away. It disappears. And if now Wilcock is part of it, right, he's part of the scheme, so that's why he gets Chris Beskar, the CEO of the company, in his studio and does a video with him. That's why they're promoting all this kind of stuff. Because they're hoping that the next person comes in and pumps 12 million into the company, and poof, here it goes. 12 million distributed to all these people. You get a small cut. You don't do much. Richard E. Gilt, the director of military aerospace, okay, he gets a little bit. Everyone gets a little bit. We have a new investor. There are 60 million on the bank account now. Boom, well done. You just made 150,000. You just made 300,000, and so on. I don't know if it works this way, but one thing is for sure, and that is that Stavati will never build a fucking aeroplane. It is just not gonna happen. Good night, everyone, says Gilbert. Great Sunday. Yeah, please do have a great Sunday as well. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the stream, Gilbert. Thank you so much for hanging out, and thanks for the support. Okay, Gilbert, one of the always supporting super chatters, always sending some Swedish crowns my way. Making sure that I have breakfast and that my children have breakfast in the morning when they try to eat food, okay? And the lights stay on in the studio. Because I have a ring light now. Here it is. Uh-oh. I'm fucking up my other camera. This was a spontaneous mistake. Hey, look. See this? Alien UFO. Oh my god, it was all round and it had like a hole in the middle. I could see it. It was crystal clear like daylight, bro. I saw it myself. Believe me. Trust me, man. So I've got this and oh fuck. Now I need to reattach it. Oh fuck. There we go. Okay, yeah, that kind of does it. Wait, why is it struggling? Okay, here we go. We got it. Few technical adjustments to be made here right now, but we got it fixed. So we have to keep the ring lights on, ladies and gentlemen. So I appreciate everyone sending super chats like Gilbert did, like so many of you guys did tonight. You're all fantastic. But if you have a few cents to spare and appreciate an ad-free stream, consider sending them my way. Yes, please. Okay. I need it. I'm begging. I'm on my knees. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about an exciting topic next. Okay, I've got the next thing right lined up, and that is an ex-CIA agent. Yes, a CIA agent. And it's not me. I am often being accused of being CIA. My back is itchy. Wait, let me get my tripod out. Fuck. Yes. Oh, so good. Oh, it just hit the spot. Oh, beautiful. Oh, so, an ex-CIA agent, and it's not me. I know people often say, Monkey, you gotta be paid by the CIA. You're debunking all these UFOs. What's your paycheck? And I say, I don't get one. I wish I could get one, but I don't. But we found an ex-CIA agent, CIA, I cut that short, an ex-CIA agent who says he's spoken to an alien hybrid. That's right. Ex-CIA agent, ex-CIA agent spoke to an alien hybrid. Yes, amazing. That's just... So there you go, incredible story. We're gonna dissect that as we do on this stream in just a minute. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I will quickly take a short break because I need to reset my brain. You guys have no idea how much of a toll it takes on myself to do this show twice a week. I feel like I'm in prison. I'm not. I'm joking. I'm loving it, guys. I'm just joking. Okay, I was really just teasing you. Stay tuned. I'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. You guys take it easy. And don't leave. Do not leave. We're going to talk about CIA agents who saw alien hybrids. I have a video. I have a video for that, okay? So please don't go anywhere. Wait a second. I can do the... Wait, I shouldn't announce this. This kind of defies the point. Wait a second. You have to wait a brief second, okay? Hold on. I'm still here. It's happening. Yeah. Wait a second. Ready? Okay. Because basically what happened is I had to go down to my wine cellar, and get a bottle of wine. But I'm about to return, so hold on. Just coming up from the wine cellar, guys. That's good. The stairs are right there. The wine cellar. Got a bottle of wine. I know what you're thinking. You're you're thinking this. Thank you. I know. Amazing performance. What a show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday night. You have nothing better to watch. I have nothing better to do. We're here. IHOP is a member for 21 months. I've got a new bottle of wine. He says, please help feed the monkey. For only a couple of bucks, you can help keep this amazing man's life intact. And remember to like and subscribe. Goblin is correct. Listen to Goblin. Okay, she's got it all under control. Beloved member, long-term member, obviously, of the show, and also moderator. So respect Goblin. Otherwise, you get banned for life. So, I'm standing now. My lights behind me have less of an impact. I apologize for that. Actually, I can make them brighter. That should work. Check this out. Cool. Doesn't work. Doesn't do anything. That's fantastic. Amazing. So yeah, anyway, I've got a new bottle of wine, which I got from my wine cellar. So that's good. It is a French wine, Côte de Rhône Village 2023. Okay? That's what that is. So I'm going to open that. Because I'm not drunk enough yet to talk about an ex-CIA agent who speaks out about alien hybrids. Okay? And we love these stories. So we're gonna dissect that one. Do you take food stamps? I don't, I'm afraid. It's got to be a rock-solid currency. But I can turn those into food stamps and then survive off that. Rusty BH says, I fed monkey earlier, now grandkids. That's true. Rusty BH has been very generous tonight. I love you, Rusty, man. Dutch Tech Radio. I remember you, bro. Dutch Tech Radio. We need 11 more monkeys. 11. Oh my god, no. Fata Morgana, Benjamin, if you can't lose with the food stamps, don't ask me. He has the grapes reversed, probed into... Okay. Chat is escalating. We're moving into the next segment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try to calm it all down. Everyone chill. So this is a teaser that was on this podcast. That's very famous. It's a very famous podcast, and I struggle to tell you the name because the truth is I never watch podcasts like that, and I quite frankly don't give a fuck. But I'm sure you guys will post it in the comments in a second and be like, yeah, of course. It's Steve Pricecheck. Steve Pricecheck, the famous interviewer. Anyway, so that guy that you see here with his cool setup, and I've seen him before, I just don't remember the name. He's got a cool interview setup. Area 52 with Chris Ramsey. Thank you so much. That's it. Okay, that's it. So they're sitting in this pretty cool setup and they are talking. So, and Chris Ramsey has an ex-CIA agent sitting there. Okay. And he says he spoke to an alien. Okay. So we're gonna listen to it. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think of this. Is it real? Is it authentic? This is a teaser. I think the episode launched a few days thereafter. Let's check it out.
Has there ever been a situation that you were in where you've gotten confirmation of government's involvement with human alien hybrids?
Damn.
Yes.
Okay. Damn.
There they are. They look like me. Did you notice this? Do you notice they look like me? It's the same. It's the same picture I'm showing you right now. That's right. It's concerning.
Credible source, you could say.
Yes.
They know about the hybrids.
Yes.
I mean, gun to your head right now, you would say absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
They were able to collect DNA from aliens.
John Ramirez, former CIA officer, 25-year career.
CIA had a program to trace this alien DNA in certain families, and particularly their children were of interest to CIA.
No, they didn't. No, the CIA didn't have a program to trace alien DNA in certain families, dude. No. Dude, I mean, I'm not involved in the military, okay, but I'm going out on a limb here and say, shut the fuck up. That is nonsense. You're talking garbage, bro. If you want to make a claim like that, right? If you want to come out and say, I worked for the CIA and I've seen that the CIA has a program that looks at specific families, right? And their grandchildren and their children, takes DNA to trace back alien DNA. If that's the case, where is the fucking evidence, bro? Documents, photos, witnesses, anything that lends any credibility to this. How can you come forward and sit in this place, make claims like that, dude? I don't know. I mean, maybe he's going to present the evidence in a second, but I haven't seen it.
They had a program to trace this alien DNA in certain families, and particularly their children were of interest to CIA.
The CIA was tracking the activity of...
We need a lie detector, says Finley Brewer. That'd be so great. If in this show, because it looks like a lie detector room anyway, right? Like an interrogation room, they have like a lie detector hooked up, and he's like, have you ever seen or experienced any indication of aliens being involved with the government? He's like, the music, she's like, yes. The lie detector, that is a lie, it's like, no, it ruins the vibe, bro. Ruins the vibe, man. You can't do that.
Hybrids, human-alien hybrids in the United States.
That and going back in their lineage.
In that 25 years, did you encounter anyone you knew for sure was read into one of the deeper programs?
Yes.
Did you have a lot of interactions with this person?
Yes, I did. My name was submitted for that particular compartment. And the Pentagon came back and said, no, we're not going to read John Ramirez into that. No way.
You specifically?
You specifically cannot be read in. He said, you don't understand, John. This program is the highest secret, top secret in the entire United States government. This top secret information exceeds that of Manhattan Project. His branch did operations under the sea, retrieving things. Bob, one of my engineers, was looking at one of the manuals. It was that thick. And he left that on his desk. The title was UFO Propulsion Systems, Manual of Operations. We were flying something that wasn't a satellite.
What did it look like?
It looked like an egg. I personally had only one, I would call bad, but not demonic, experience.
Bad. It was bad, but not demonic. Not that bad. You know, like, linking the Bible here again, but it's like demonic. No, bad. It was just bad. One bad UFO experience I had.
And that experience was with a reptilian-like being that showed up in my condo when I lived in Washington, D.C. And the other, I can't identify because it was shrouded. It was wearing a cloak.
A hood.
A hood, yeah, a cloak and a hood. And they showed up one night, and they just, I woke up and they go, oh, don't mind us. We just want to let you know that we know you.
If the music wouldn't be behind it, you may think it's just an old man rambling, and he may kind of struggle to get his facts together. But because of the music, bro, holy shit.
And then I went to medical services. I had something done here. And can I get those records? And said, sorry, your medical records are classified. You cannot have them.
God damn it, they classified the records, man.
Wait, they classified your own medical records?
Implants are real.
Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy theory, and hybrids are real. That's not a conspiracy theory.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you this thing by Chris Ramsey or whatever it is. I don't even know, but it's a thing. And here is old Asian-looking man saying he is an ex-CIA operative agent or whatever, and he has seen all these things. Now, I think the obvious part to mention is that probably this is all nonsense. Now, we know, right, this now has to be put into context, because we now know that the Pentagon and other institutes faked, we kind of assume, because a Pentagon internal has made these claims, that they were faking evidence, right? I spoke about it earlier, right? So they're faking evidence. If that's true, maybe this guy just saw stuff, misinterpreted, amplified it slightly, and now he's telling his story. But it doesn't seem like that to me. I mean, all the examples that he's giving in this segment, like he's going into a lot of detail, stuff that he's seen, stuff that he's claimed. The question really for me is like, why are these people doing this, right? Why do you have this old man who probably was an ex-CIA agent, right? I'm going to assume that that's correct. Why is he doing this? Is it a retirement plan thing? Is he an actor? Is he someone they just hire to do this? Maybe, probably not. I don't think so. But it just leaves me with a lot of question marks. He showed us his fears, says Watkins. Right. Finlay Brewer says, I just realized we don't need a lie detector. We have a collective consciousness. Yeah, that's true. The lie detector kind of was in the room all the time. Trust me, bro, says Dash. Exactly. It's basically a trust me, bro thing. He presents nothing and he makes these outrageous claims of alien hybrids. Like, bro, man. Here's how this feels to me. I think in 2013, in 2008, in 2000, maybe even 15, something like this, you could have landed big with a story like this. You're the guy, you're on this interview, you're on this platform, whatever, on TV maybe, and you make these claims, right? And you're like, I'm a CIA agent, and you can prove I worked for the CIA, and they did this, and they did that, right? And you make all these unsubstantiated claims. Now, you're not going to get arrested for this, because the claims that you're making are lies. Right, you're claiming you saw alien documents, you are aware of alien-human hybrids. The CIA is not going to arrest you for that because you're not breaking any contract. There's no contract that says you witnessed as a CIA agent these aliens. You can never talk about this. He will claim that exists, but it clearly doesn't. Because if that contract would exist, the dude would get arrested the second he opens his fucking mouth. Okay? We've seen whistleblowers in the past, not just Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. I showed examples in the past where this guy leaked political documents on Discord. He had to leave the country. He's living in exile ever since, okay? Like, you don't leak information like that to the public without consequences unless they're bullshit. So my theory is, right, that this really becomes a somewhat accepted retirement plan idea for people in politics, people in the CIA, people within who worked in the Pentagon and so on, where they basically say, look, I'm this age now, I can retire, I have a nice retirement fund, but I could also tell these stories on Gaia TV or whatever and cash a nice paycheck for every time I tell these stories, right? I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm not claiming that's the truth of the case here, right? But I know that that's how some of this comes to be, how some of this fits together. It's people trying to get a paycheck for stuff. Monkey needs haircut. That is true. I do. Yoshi is correct. But it's growing out and I have stopped giving a fuck. So now I look a little bit like David Hasselhoff. I have done nothing with my hair. That is just how it looks. Okay? Don't think that I put effort into making my hair look nice. I don't. Steve Long, good to see you, says, I don't even think Ramirez wasn't the CIA. He just worked for a company that contracted with the CIA. Kind of like Ed Snowden didn't really work for the NSA. That is possible as well. I don't know the ins and outs of this so deep, but that is possible. Yes, I don't know. Atheistan and Colson says, CIA agent sounds cool. I'm just a simple farmer. It's not considered cool. Yeah, that's not cool. That's true. Now, for me, it's cool. Being a farmer is cool for me. Dr. Grier would say the alien visit was staged. Yeah, true, dude. I'm a simple country doctor. Aren't we all? Sportskins, aren't we all? Cowcrapper says, you're probably not too far off. Simple logic. Nifty Skate says, makes more sense than the garbage that comes from their mouths. Hector M says, monkey looking like James Dean. Thank you, I appreciate it. That's not true, but that's alright. Grey Lobster says, Grier is ripped. Less so, but then again, I think Grier is like 98 years old, so it's fine if he's not perfectly ripped. I give him that, you know what I mean? Wilcock leaks on the public. Okay. Dash says, government knows that what whistleblowers say sounds ludicrous, even if it was real. Grier's ripped like Ned Flanders. That's a good comparison, actually. I like that. But Ned Flanders is seriously ripped, and then he's got that sexy butt, bro. That's damn sexy Flanders butt. You know that one. I will send you some corn and a cow. I appreciate that, please. I can need that. I require that. I've got a fairly big backyard. They can hang out there, the cows. Cut the grass. John R. served from 84 to 2009, the CIA, Directorate of Science and Technology, Directorate of Intelligence, and the ODNI National Counter Proliferation Center during his 25-year career. Says CC, which is great. Really, really good context there. I appreciate that. Jack Covington says, nonsense, money grab. If it is stupid, people will believe. Just toss in some fancy language and watch it sell. Jeez. That's the theory. I believe that as well. You know, others can disagree. In the end, we all have to realize, okay, we don't know what is going on there. Is there intent there? Are they faking this intentionally? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this guy sitting down in this podcast completely making it up? Because there's a line there. If you look at Grush, I am convinced that Grush believes he saw something. I'm also convinced that Grush saw something pretty much meaningless. He saw like maybe some fake documents, some made up scenario building where they try to come up with a plan what would happen if aliens land on Earth. He saw those documents, he got confused, he got scared, he communicated it, he went to Congress. He thinks he saw something. This applies to some of the other whistleblowers that we have as well. For example, Matthew Brown, right? Matthew Brown, the new whistleblower that Corbell and Knapp brought forward. I'm also convinced that he believes he saw something. I don't think he's that good of an actor that he sells us this lie. I don't know about this guy, right? I haven't seen the whole interview. Who knows, man? But there is that aspect. There is that aspect to it. So, cheers. It's Saturday. So, kind of trying to find a hook back into this. Now, actually, speaking of Corbell's whistleblower, right? Matthew Brown. You guys remember this. He dropped this tweet, and I want to share this with you guys. It's kind of a seamless transition here. Absolutely perfect. Even that late in the show, Monkey nails these transitions. But I have to say as well, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going into this segment here, this is going to be the final segment of the show. So that means we're going to go through this. We're going to look at this whistleblower report, and then we're going to end this show here, and we will start an after party. That's right. The after party is happening. I know everyone's excited. Thank you. Yes. Now, the bad news for you possibly is it's a members only after party, okay? So only for members. So you can still become a member. I guess that's the good news. You can click the link in the description because we're going to do a whole after party stream after this one, which is a separate members only stream. So I'm going to hang out with you guys. We're going to listen to music, we're going to vibe. We're going to talk less about UFOs. There's no like controlled program there, but obviously the chat is much less busy, so I can engage with you guys much more on a personal level. So that's the after party. So if you want to join that, consider becoming a member. Okay, if you become a member, you can join the after party. Anyway, enough of that. Matthew Brown was that whistleblower that Corbell and Knapp put forward. And by the way, I just want to say, whether it is the guy we just looked at, where was he? I'm just trying to find that same picture again. Here he is. Whether it's this guy, by the way, this was uploaded, so I assume the episode, or the full episode, was shared shortly thereafter. On June 20th, today is July 16th, so 15 days ago, this came out. This incredible whistleblower on the Chris Ramsey podcast, okay? Breaking down how alien-human hybrids are actually real. Guys, holy fuck. 15 days ago. Have you heard about it? No, me neither. I hadn't heard about that shit either, right? And then here is Matthew Brown. When did the Matthew Brown thing? This was posted 1 month ago, and I think it was even before that, like 1.5 months ago. You remember Matthew Brown came out and said, guys, I am on the Weaponized podcast with Jeremy Corbell, and I wrote the Immaculate Constellation documents. That's right, I wrote them personally. I saw a lot of things during my time behind the scenes with the government. He made these outrageous claims, but do you notice a similarity? Do you notice a similarity between this incident now of Matthew Brown and the other whistleblower? That exactly, nobody cares, dude. The dude appears on the Chris Ramsey podcast 2 days later. Like, he farms his 400,000 clicks for this, you know. Gets his nice ad revenue. You know, you're making $1,000 or $2,000 on it. Well done. Good stuff. Good episode. And then everyone moves the fuck on. The meaning of the actual content has lost all weight. You know what I mean? There is no meaning to it anymore. You're bringing on a whistleblower on a podcast and he says he saw alien-human hybrids. Nobody gives a shit. Jeremy Corbell brings on this whistleblower. He's like, I wrote these documents. Yes, it breaks down how the government has alien spaceship. Nobody gives a fuck. It disappears. It disappears the second it turns up on the radar. These stories don't work anymore. The Bob Lazar story has lost its magic. You can't come out anymore and be this guy. We had too many of that guy over the years. Anyway, I guess in an effort to stay relevant, the whistleblower that Corbell and Knapp put forward on the Weaponized podcast, Matthew Brown, sent out a tweet, which was somewhat cryptic, and I want to share it with you guys. It makes a lot of claims. It's right here, and it's a very long tweet. You can see it here. Hold on. I'll bring it up. Look at this. It's a very, very long tweet. So this guy summarized it. And he says that basically in this tweet, and this is again already a month old, okay? I put this on the list a long time ago and I never got to talking about it. But here we are talking about it. And I guess that it is now a month old gives it some weird and ironic context, right? Because it's like, none of this has even made any news station or any public media, you know? This is just like hyper UFO nerd garbage people like myself looking into this on Reddit, bookmarking it. Nobody else has heard about this. So in this tweet he said, the White House has an AI that can predict the future. And a sentient AI was murdered. Elon knows this. Elon knows about a secret called marsupial. Brown bolded this word, so it means something. 3 Brown alluded to Sirius as a place where the US is receiving secret energy. This is in the tweet from Matthew Brown, okay? The whistleblower that Corbell and Knapp put forward, that nobody has heard about for the past 1 month and 10 days or whatever, right? He just disappeared. And when I hear this, I wonder why he disappeared, and it almost gives me an answer, because this bullshit sounds like a fucking student writing project. And I'm like, this can't be real. Non-structured light energy craft floating in the sky and in contact with humanity. He alluded FBI and Navy will bring justice to the disclosure cover-up. We have contact with something he called the others. Elizondo calls them that, so does Jim Zemivan, the others, okay? We have contact with them. Brown posts a picture of what looks like a historic hand-drawn diagram of John Deere's ritual practices, suggesting angelic Enochian elements to the phenomenon. Okay, so he's linking it to the Bible as well. Last point is, Brown has a name for himself on X. The name is Son of Abramelin. That's the Twitter account name of Matthew Brown, this leaker. Heavy occult references there. Has anyone seen the X account before? Like it was, so he's speculating that's like that because it's called Son of Abrahamilin, whatever it's called, it's occult. So he's summarizing this tweet for us. The way I read this tweet, and I mean, this is absolute insanity, let's be honest. I mean, the stuff that he's claiming here, that an AI was murdered, a sentient AI was murdered within the government, and Elon knows about it. Like, bro, sit the fuck down, you know what I mean? Calm the fuck down. They have an AI that can predict the future. You're talking out of your ass. If you have like more than 8 brain cells, you know that that's not exactly how it works. An AI that can predict the future, what, like the fucking lottery numbers? Can I get a set, please? You know what I mean? Like, it's absolute nonsense. He's making it up. He talks about the secret program. Okay, maybe the secret program, he called it Marsupial. Maybe that's a real program. That's possible. But then he talks about that Sirius, you know, we all heard about the planet Sirius. It's a real planet, right? Planet Sirius is, I believe, the closest star to the solar system or something, right? Sirius is the closest star to the solar system. Am I making this up? But the Sirius solar system, that's kind of where the US is receiving secret energy, as it calls it. Let me open myself another bottle of wine. I mean, dude, you're dealing with a level of delusion and insanity here that you just have to digest. And if you look at this, if you almost take a step back from all of this, right, and you look at it in the bigger picture, this is, in my opinion, to a large extent, a result of COVID. It's a result of desperation. It's a result of uncertainty. Now AI coming into it as well, mixing the game up. Who's going to lose their job? I saw this, this article that a lot of people within the next, 2 years basically, right? Like 24 months or something. So many people are going to lose their jobs and so many jobs are going to become irrelevant. So there's so much uncertainty. There's so much worry going on. Obviously, that's where this shit grows, right? When people are uncertain, they look for points of anchor, for points of certainty, points of confirmation. And then they find esoterics, they find David Wilcock, they find New Age shit, they find ufology, and they find an alternative explanation for why they are here and the sense of life and how there's hope and how, the bigger picture. I'm pouring myself a new glass of wine from this new bottle, by the way, which I stealthily opened in the background. So it's almost like a self-report, like a lot of this stuff. And if you then see, posts like this one by Matthew Brown, again, Matthew Brown, the big UFO leaker that Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp put forward in the Weaponized podcast. I'll show you, just in case you don't remember, I'll show you the face. I'll put it in here. Obviously, it finds the Weaponized podcast. Great, not a single picture. This shit really had some serious impact, man. That's him, okay? That's him. He also claimed we're living in some form of matrix. So here's this guy. Allegedly, he worked, I don't want to lie, for the Pentagon or some kind of secret government thing. He came across fairly serious and credible in this interview, but then again, this was uploaded again 1 month ago, and I think what happened is that he basically realized, dude, I thought this is gonna be a big bounce. Here's this guy, military guy or government employee, coming forward making these extraordinary claims. This is gonna be big. This is gonna set me up. He clearly, for some reason, doesn't work for the government anymore, but that didn't work. And that's why now he seems to be coming out with tweets like this that just claims that there's this secret program and that we're receiving secret energy from Sirius, and that non-structured light energy craft are floating in the sky and they are in contact with humanity. It's like, what are we doing? Like this fucking science fiction writing course here? Like at the Giovanni with the 5. Proxima Centauri is the closest star to Earth. Oh, okay, not including the sun, obviously. Okay, fair enough. All right. I thought... Okay, thanks for correcting that, though, Giovanni. I thought it was Sirius. Sirius is a star, though, right? We know that. No? I did so many space books with my son. Feels like I learned nothing. Ross Custard, nice. More like Matthew Clown. Boom! Roasted. Matthew Clown. Incredible. Wow. That's a real one. They're right there, dude. I mean, I cannot applaud enough. Cannot applaud enough for that shit, bro. Wild. Absolutely on fire. So yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Bucho said that. Jack Hoving, G with the 5. That's right. With the 5. You guys, the show is still going. We're many hours in. We're still running. We're living off super chats. My children need to eat. Send me a super chat like Giovanni just did. And like Jack Hoving and many others always did, okay? I don't want to exclude anyone here, but we need to eat. I need to eat. Cheers. I love you guys. So, Matthew Clown came out and made all these, honestly, quite clownish claims, let's be honest, right? Like, bro, non-structured light energy craft floating in the sky. That sounds like AI wrote that shit. He's not even trying. And I think after this tweet, he just disappeared completely. Because if you look at the original, like even this one, right? This tweet got 38 likes, man. Like, here's a guy who claims we have human-alien hybrids. It gets 38 likes. You know what I mean? And the same with the Matthew Brown stuff. This tweet, okay, this exploded, 3.8 thousand. Let me see the other one. Where was it? So many tabs open here right now. I don't want to bother you guys with my tabs. I need to close some of them. Point is, quite often these posts don't get that much engagement. Okay, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, up to you. Matthew Brown, oh no, another fucking lying shit. As bad as Anata was attacked by praying mantis. Give me strength. This is Rusty. Well, I'm more articulate in this regard than you. I don't mean I'm more articulate than you. I probably am not. But what I'm trying to say is I don't want to just go out here and be like, it's all grifters, they're all grifters. I try to be more differentiated in my opinion. But sometimes I agree with you. It's difficult, okay? I know, great joke, right? Says Bucho. And I'm not even a professional. Unbelievable. Hard to imagine that with jokes like that. I mean, dude, you should be on a stage with a huge audience. Let's be honest, dude. You give the Yanks too much credit, says Botskins. Maybe. Nifty Skate says, ha! People are done and it aged out. So that's the thing, right? That's kind of the overarching story here. The idea that you have a whistleblower who claims incredible things around ufology, that ended with Grush. Grush was somewhat the last guy who was taken serious, who caused some kind of waves, but then obviously Grush was a disappointment as well because he presented no evidence and nothing that people could follow up on and actually say to the government, hey, look, what about those documents, bro? Something, you know? There's nothing there. So Grush was still big and that kind of disappeared. And since then, every single UFO whistleblower, who all of them have no evidence, they come, they go, they have no time in the limelight. Look at the other guy, Jake Barber, who was brought in by Ross Coulthard presenting his egg UFO video, right? How long? I mean, Jake Barber appeared in a few documentaries and he tried to make this I'm a UFO guy career last, right? Trying to appear in different things. I think he's even past part of Skywatcher, right? So that's how you then continue that kind of career. You start a show called Skywatcher, like Jake Barber. But how long do these stories last, man? They come, they go. And I feel sometimes people who consume UFO content, they're like fish. I don't know if this urban legend is true, but they see something and forget it 4 seconds later. They never have this moment of like, hold on a second. A month ago, that dude promised me this, never came to fruition. What's going on? Let me follow up on it. People don't do that because he's already presenting the next thing. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. Asynchronicity, good to see you. MB is just another desperate attention seeker. He exudes it from every pore. Fair enough. Yoshi, aliens obviously eat custard. Grush eats alien ass. God damn it. Why'd you get me to say this? I just blindly read the chat. I'm so sorry, David Grush. You don't eat alien ass. Or did you? Who knows, right? We can never really know. How sure can we be? No amount of stories or leaked documents will move the needle one bit. Exactly, says D-Bone Swish. That's exactly right. Like, you can even show us leaked documents. It's not going to do anything. Nobody gives a fuck anymore, dude. People have moved past it. Listen, and I think a big part of that is also that all of us have these phones in our pocket, right? HD cameras, 4K cameras. We could film extraordinary stuff, but we're never seeing anything. I mean, most of the somewhat sharp UFO footage comes from the 90s, right? When people were using like fucking DSLR and analog film cameras to snap hubcaps flying through the air. That's how they got these images. Now that we have all cameras, when there's one film like in London, it's like, why are there no more people filming this? It makes no sense. It's a big metropolitan. Everyone's got a camera. So that also slowly diminishes and grinds down the credibility that people have towards this phenomenon. So you're right. You're exactly right. It slowly degrades. The credibility degrades and diminishes. And, you know, I think it ultimately will fall apart. It will fall apart. The UFO phenomenon will descend into absolute obscurity, which they're already doing, right? Now you can see it. It's angels, it's demons. Like, they're bringing in all these weird new subgenres in order desperately to keep it alive, to stay relevant, right? They make it all esoteric and new agey or whatever their strategy is. Trying to desperately stay relevant in all this age of information and reason and logic. I understand a lot of stuff in our times is not following reason and logic, but there is a movement, I'm part of it, of many people like Mick West as well, who put out just easy, simple to understand, scientifically based explanations. And their grift is falling a fucking apart and they don't like it. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. CC says, I hear what you're saying and I agree with the skepticism. It is suddenly an avalanche of information. It's very difficult to follow up as there's another story inside. Exactly. That's the thing, right? I mean, everyone's doing it. It's a thing that Trump ultimately introduced. You flood you flood the zone, is that the term? You just put so much stuff out there that by the time you actually should get a reward for the first story, you know, like something that actually happens because something was promised, you're already 2 stories down the drain and you forgot. You just forgot. You're like, okay, wow, look, Corbell now has this new guy and he wears sunglasses. So you forgot that 2 weeks ago he promised documents. You know, that's unfortunately how a lot of people work, and they're capitalizing on that. Alien bodies, we need to see alien bodies, says Dash. I don't think so, dude. I keep saying this on stream, but I think what we need is like a mass sighting. We need a serious mass sighting. Something that is truly unexplainable, right? Not something drifting over the sky. Which, by the way, leads me to the final thing. I wanted to keep this now almost for the next week, but we're doing it now, okay? Because I love you guys and we're having a good time tonight. I'm sharing this video, a little bit of live debunking, maybe, on the stream. By the way, I don't like that I'm not in the center of... Look, I'm not centered, right? I have to go... Which way do I have to go? Yeah, like this. Huh. That's better. That's so much better. I love this so much more. This is amazing. So I have this UFO video for you guys. That's right, UFO video. I know, people are freaking out. Absolutely incredible. We're looking at a UFO video like we used to do. You know, like we used to do good in the back in the good old days. I'm kind of drunk at this point, so forgive my articulation. But it comes to what I just spoke about, videos and clips like that. Let's check this one out. Hold on. It has now disappeared in my tabs. There it is. Nifty Skates with the 5 US. Thank you so much, Nifty Skates. Keeping it alive. Appreciate the debunking content. Thank you. To be honest, people still send me messages every now and then. I have a public email and Twitter. Follow my Twitter. Link in the description as well. And people send me messages and say, dude, I really miss your debunking videos. Why are you not doing those anymore? where you basically just look at UFO videos and then explain them. The truth is, videos have been shit. This is part of everything I just described. The UFO movement, the believers movement of all these stories and fake garbage videos that just one person recorded over a 2 million people metropolitan. People don't buy it anymore. So we get less footage, we get less fakes, and there's just not enough content out there for me to make that serious and keep producing videos. A lot of the videos I debunk in my debunking series, they're already 3 years old, 5 years, 10 years old. We just don't have enough new UFO videos, which contradicts the idea that they are everywhere, you know, and pilots see them all the time. These are the narratives we're getting. Everyone's got a camera in their freaking pocket. 4K cameras. Where's the footage? It doesn't exist. It tells the whole story in and of itself, right? In my opinion. But here is a recording of a UFO. That's right, unbelievable. It's been recorded and captured over Amarillo, Texas. Okay, Texas UFO. And it's a V-shaped one. Quite reminiscent of what you would imagine the Phoenix Lights would have looked. Okay, check it out. There it is. So apparently this is a new video. This was posted 17 days ago. Now, I don't know. It looks like night vision footage. So normally this would be... phones don't have that feature, right? Not in that form. So it would be some kind of camcorder recording this footage, assuming that it's new, assuming that it's more recent footage. And it shows this V-shaped craft in the sky somewhere in Texas. Now, just because the background looks bright doesn't mean that it is bright. It doesn't necessarily imply that it's... I don't know, a sunset or some bright footage. It's not. If this person is using a night vision camera, then it can absolutely just be that it brightens up the sky and the object itself looks dark. So it's interesting, right? Like somewhat interesting. It's got like these two stripy thingies here and then a light in the front. A cute little light. Let's see, is there more information? Someone replies and says, wow, what are the odds? It's flying at the exact same angle as this video, not cropped black and white. Such a coincidence. It's almost as if someone took this footage from 2022. Uh-oh. I didn't see this before. Stolen footage from 2022. So there you have it. It is stolen footage. Now this one, still called over Texas. Okay, it's still called TR6. Because there's the TR3B and there's also the TR6. And we know this. So if you go today... to Twitter and search for, what was it? Was it UFOX? Let me see. Uh-oh, I can't find it now. I searched for it earlier. What was I searching for earlier? Let me see. Search history. Was it Hood Grier? I think maybe it was Hood Grier. Oh shit, it's just Hood Grier pictures. Shit, I can't find it now. Doesn't matter. Whatever. I have to close some of these tabs, man. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. It's getting out of hand. But yes, okay. So the original footage seems to be from 2022. Filmed over Texas. But to be honest, that doesn't make it like less interesting, right? It's still interesting footage. Now, the challenge I have with this footage is that I can't estimate how big it is. This could be small. We don't know it. We have no point of reference. We just see the sky behind it. This could be a small, literally meter by a meter or like 3-4 foot little inflatable filmed with a little LED light at the bottom, right? People are saying inflatable, right? Boardskin says inflatable. Jumbosphere is legit, nice. Debunk the beat. Okay, I can't debunk the beat, man. It's too funky. The beat's too funky, but I turn it down ever so slightly. Are we doing AI mashups for Grifter Gods today? Well, to be honest, when it comes to this particular footage, I don't think it's AI. Again, it's from 2022. Doesn't really make sense. I think it's a real object. Now, a lot of people don't know this. It's obviously very reminiscent of the Phoenix Lights, but there is a company that I keep referencing on the stream that is called JP Aerospace. JP Aerospace is a company that operates out of Arizona, I believe, and they do exactly what you just saw. Hold on, let me reset the size. There you go. They have a website from the 90s, which is great. But if you scroll down, you find projects that they're doing, like, for example, the Ascender. I showed this many times. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But I wanted to show this to people because also for the Phoenix Lights, in my opinion, this offers a very reasonable explanation. So here is this company that produces giant inflatables that fly up into the stratosphere and then spy on adversary nations. Okay, so it just floats up, probably very slow, but once it's in a position in the stratosphere over China, you're gonna get great pictures from that kind of thing. So they're doing this, they're V-shaped, they're inflatable, they're big, they look like this. You get all kinds of pictures here. Now you can see they're doing them in various sizes. This is fairly big, but not huge, right? They have some others that are even bigger. And if you see pictures like this one, right? And then you look at the video we just looked at. It's just like, bruh, it's close. This is very, very close. And keep in mind, this is secret stuff. The government develops these as secret projects, so they don't fly during the day. Usually they fly at night. Hence, you need a fucking light on it, okay? If you don't have a light on it, and that thing flies at night, and then for whatever reason the rope rips, you're gonna lose it. You don't even know where in the sky it is. You don't see it. You need the lights to test it. So there are definitely lights underneath. Here's a little visualization. I'm glad I can still say that word. Of how this orbital ascender, the goal, right, would look once it reaches orbit, flies around. You can see the lights on it, boomerang shaped, V-shaped. It's a perfect match. But now, sit tight, because here we have a picture that looks a little bit like this, okay? And now what I want you to do is spot the human. That's right. That's a person. That's a person. There's another picture here. I'm going to bring this one up as well. That's a person inside that thing. That is a huge thing. And you can actually see that underneath there's a truss with lights and stuff mounted on it. It's a huge inflatable. This is like football-sized inflatable. Football field size inflatable. So to me, this explains the Phoenix Lights. And to be honest with you, this to me also explains what we see here. That's what we're seeing here. It is some kind of inflatable. Now, is it a military inflatable that they're testing? Could be. Texas, you know, who knows? Maybe the thing drifted away in the wind and kind of sucks. Little bit of a mistake. But I think that is, in my opinion, a perfect match. I read interviews with the CEO of JP Aerospace, the company who produces these inflatables, and he said they were not testing themselves at that time in Arizona around Phoenix, these objects. But prior to the Phoenix Lights, they were selling these concepts, the plans, right? How to make these V-shaped inflatables to the government. So the government has been testing and the government has been building their own versions of it, right? So, yeah, I think that explains it. I think that explains this video. But you know, what do I know? What do I know? CC, I do think that most sightings are explainable. And that those that do look real are in fact government advanced craft that are testing. But it's the 5% that are of interest. There's always those 5%, man. Maybe. Possibly real. Could be real. I'm gonna put some Donkey Kong gameplay on the screen. It just makes me very nostalgic. It just followed with the video. It was like, you should watch this next, so now I am. I had a good friend at the time. I haven't seen him in 30 years, 35 years. When I was little. And he had the Super NES, so we were playing this game. And I could only play it at his home. I remember how cool it looked at the time, the 3D graphics. That was revolutionary. We came from Super Mario, you know. And here you have these very cool 3D rendered sprites. Revolutionary. Cheers. I just got back from seeing Jurassic World Rebirth, and it was indeed terrible, says Alex Gutzi. Well, I expected nothing less, bro. Dude, I saw some people saying, oh, you know, finally a good Jurassic Park movie again. I didn't trust it for a second. I knew that movie is gonna be a freaking car crash. Holy smokes. I'm glad you confirmed it, dude. but my expectations were under zero. Under zero. It was a great game, right? Let's go forward a little bit. Let's look at a different level. So here they're all underwater all the time. It's just underwater stuff. Oh, okay. Damn, hold on. Donkey Kong Country, full playthrough. Playthrough, no commentary. Okay, I'll give you guys what you want. Okay, some alternative footage. Because there are so many really cool designed worlds. You gotta understand, like this kind of 3D style graphics they're showing here, that was super cool at the time. Very futuristic and modern looking. Rendered sprites, man. Even they're rendered at these pixelated graphics. Fun stuff, though. Saved me the cost of the ticket, says Jack Covington. Exactly, yeah, probably don't go see that movie. I mean, I'm not, that's all I can say. I'm not gonna go see that Jurassic Park movie, dude. Monkey is a Donkey Kong chill confirmed. That's not true. I'm not a huge Donkey Kong chill, but I remember everything you see on screen here right now because I played it with my friend at the time. And it was a lot of fun. And he had the Super NES. And I didn't, and I always went to him just to play games. But he was, you know, he was a good guy. We were slightly disturbed. Fun story I can tell there, actually. Fun story. We were maybe... When did this come out? Donkey Kong Country release year. That should give us an indication how old Monkey was. I'm talking about my third person. That's weird. 1994, so I was 12. Okay, so 12-year-old me hanging out with my friend. And we were playing around, and I swear to God, we had like no bad intention, but we took like this little doll that he had that actually looked a little bit like a voodoo doll. I don't know, you know, and we just took it and built a little gallows for it. I don't even know why, and I don't remember how we did that, but we had like small wooden gallows. So we took this little voodoo puppet figure thing looking thing and hung it on the gallows, and his parents found out. And I swear to God, I mean, look, man, we had no violent fantasies or anything. It was just a stupid game, right? You're just a little kid, you try to be edgy. So it's like you do a gallows thing. Oh, look, the little thing has been hung. You're 12 and it's like shocking content for you. Before the internet, right? This is 1994, long before the internet. Or it kind of started at the time, but we were kids, so... long story short, the parents saw it and they were shocked. His parents saw it, and obviously they thought I'm a very bad company for their son, because I come up with ideas of like hanging little cute animals, right? Very, very disturbing. So I think I didn't play with him much after that, with that kid. Even was it my idea? I don't even remember. Maybe it was my idea. Maybe I thought it was a funny idea to hang that creature and kind of put a little gallows up for it. I don't remember. Donkey Kong Final Solution. Listen, it gives me a context for my kids today. When I see my kid drawing someone having a gun and shooting someone else and blood is splattering over the screen, I'm like, yes, I painted that too. You know, it's like, yeah, that's not a cool thing to paint, and I'm gonna talk to him about it, but like, it's nothing to be concerned, because I did, honestly, let's be honest, I did the same, right? So, Incel Monkey, good God, Patokev, appreciate you, bro. Smash like, everyone, while you're still here. Steve Long says exactly how Dharma started out. Jesus Christ, good God. Last one was garbage. Almost walked out of the theater, says Nifty Skates. Dude, I tried to watch the last Jurassic Park one, the one before this one, 3 times. Was it like Jurassic Globe, or the thing where they go global and now there are dinosaurs everywhere? Like, dude, I tried to watch it 3 times. I stopped watching it for free. I couldn't finish it. It was so bad, bro. So bad. What have they done to the Jurassic Park franchise? Now, this is a perfect segment. Slapping the segment table here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving over to the after party. That's right. We're doing an after party, and you're here for it. If you're a member, because that's the bad news, while this stream ends, we're gonna have another stream. And that stream will be a members-only after party. But if you're a member on the channel, then that's good news, because you will say, well, that's good. I can join the after party. And that's exactly right. So you can join the after party. You can hang out with me a little bit more. I'm just gonna really quick prepare something, and then we're ready to go. So how this works is, if you're a member on the channel, maybe you're a new member, maybe you've been around for a while, like Trashboat, then smash like, stay for 2 minutes. I'm gonna put an outro here, then I'm gonna have a 2-minute break, and then we're starting a new stream on the channel, and that will be the after party stream for members only. So I hope to see you guys at that stream. That will literally happen in 2 minutes. You know what? I'm gonna put the Donkey Kong gameplay on screen here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. It was a great, fun Saturday night again. We got through a lot of content. All right, we talked a lot about, you know, former ex-CIA agents and Louis Elizondo and David Wilcock and Gaia TV and so much stuff going on. We made a good progress tonight, and I appreciate you doing it with me. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for sharing these moments. It's fantastic to have you guys here with me along the ride, and I am very thankful. I'm very thankful for you guys being here with me. I appreciate it. It's not a normal thing. You know, not that many people have a community that is so wonderful and so great on YouTube. I appreciate your support. You guys are fantastic. And I genuinely hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful remaining weekend. I see you again on Thursday. We're doing Midweek Madness. We've reached the Super Chat goal. So unless you're a member, then I see you in about 5 minutes from now. But if you're not, then I see you on Thursday for the next stream. Mark it in the calendars. I'll be back. I'll be back. He said I'll be back. Oh my God. What is he gonna say next? Get to the chopper? That's crazy. I appreciate you guys. Take care of yourselves. I see you on Thursday. Much love to you. Have a great weekend. And I'm out. Bye.